Power. Yes, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tapping in and tuning in today. It's your girl KTD 12, aka Care the Dawn, 12, aka Care the Dawn. Like I always say, I don't matter which way y'all put it, bro. As long as you have Kira, the Dawn, and 12. And one of those occasions, you can call me either one. I jack all three of them. You feel me? But we back here today. Today's reaction is gonna be a bit of a doozy. I'm not gonna lie. We are reacting to the David case with Celeste. R.I.P. Celeste. But we are reacting to that case. I didn't think a case would be more worse than the Diddy trials. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't think it would be a case worse than that, but shit. Shit. Bro, we gonna hop right into these videos. We not even gonna waste no time with it. Hope everybody's having a great. No, Siri, I didn't say anything to you.
Or simultaneously, if that's what you're into. But I want to warn you,
Overstimulated. But nah, yeah, I do for a fact want to say I appreciate everybody that's been on this journey with me. You feel me? On the road to affiliate right now. That's our that's our goal. That's where we're at right now with it. Um, Now technology is acting stupid today, but that's our goal with it. That's where we are right now. I do got some food coming. In a few. You feel me? I love the fact that my hair is getting so long now, though. Like, chat, y'all don't understand. Shits used to be up here, y'all. Hair used to be all the way up here, now it's down here. Like, and it's only 2 years. Like, I feel like my hair grew so fast in the span of like no time. But we're gonna get straight into these videos. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, vibing with me, and let's just get straight into it. You dig? You feel me? Alright, let's get into this.
Hey, True Crime Besties. Welcome back to an all-new episode of
Let me know if y'all can hear me properly. Everything's Gucci and Kochi. Alright, but y'all can hear me.
Hello. Let me get my camera turned on
mode.
here. Sorry, guys. I have not live streamed in a minute, and obviously it shows. Hold on. Looks like it's 2 more seconds. Look at this black screen. What an idiot. Hold on, guys. 1 second.
It be like that.
Okay.
That do be like that sometimes.
3, 2, 1. There we go. It worked. Wow. It's been a minute. I think the last time I live streamed on here was, when was it? The Karen Reed retrial. So a year ago. And apparently I don't know how to use any of my equipment anymore. Thank you so much for joining today. We are going to get started here. The press conference starts at 10, so we have about 15 minutes, and I have, all my notes here, different things I want to review with you to give you guys a little bit more of a timeline of what's been going down in this case. Obviously, if you have been following it since the very beginning, like myself and with me, you probably know a lot of the details, but still thought that it would be worth jumping on a bit early just to go through the timeline of events and get a little bit of a refresher. So welcome. So excited to have you guys here. I know I kind of like confused everybody this morning. I released a new episode right at 9 a.m., right as I announced that we were going to do a live stream too. So there is a brand new episode out right now that you can go watch after this or simultaneously if that's what you're into. But I want to warn you, it is a very upsetting one. It's another family annihilator, and it's sick and twisted and awful, but it is now posted. So, okay, let's start with this. First of all, I wish I could see you guys. Show of hands, who was excited when they heard last week that David was finally arrested? I know that when we've been discussing it in headline highlights, I've been waiting personally, and I know so many of you have, where we're like, what the hell is going on here? Why has he not been arrested? Which I get it. I want to kind of, I want to put myself in check a little bit with that statement.
But I feel like they was also trying to
understand
gather enough
you
evidence
don't want
too.
to bring charges against somebody
Yeah.
until you have such a rock solid case that you know that it's going to be a slam dunk at trial. A slam dunk at trial. I can't talk. And we knew from the very beginning, once they recovered Celeste's remains, they were so badly decomposed that they at first were not able to determine cause of death or manner of death. Therefore, if they couldn't even determine that this was in fact a homicide, how do you bring forth those charges? They since have determined the manner of death as homicide, and I believe the cause of death has also been determined, which kind of surprised me when I first heard that, because given the state of her remains and what they shared early on. And so I'm wondering if they are going to release that today during the press conference as well, or if they won't release that because she was a minor. It also is believed that her parents will not only be in attendance or her family will not only be in attendance at the presser, but may also speak as well. So finally, we know that he has been arrested. And let's just kind of break down. I have the whole timeline here, and I just want to go through it really quickly with you. to brush up on all of the dates and what exactly happened here. So, as we know, David, D4VD, still don't understand the acronym, but maybe that's because I'm like a millennial boomer. I don't get it. But David has been arrested. So, back on April 5th, 2024, when Celeste was just 13 years old, she was last seen in Lake Elsinore, California. So, over 2 years ago at this point. Now, this was like an approximation, okay? And I'm dying at your guys' acronym for jail right now. And she was last seen in Lake Elsinore. Now, Lake Elsinore, just to give you an idea of where that's located for anybody who doesn't live here in California, if Los Angeles is here, Orange County is here, Lake Elsinore is kind of here. And I'm wondering if that's showing backwards on the map, but it's part of like the Inland Empire by Corona, out towards like Temecula, the Corona area, as if you're going almost down towards San Diego area. It's just further south and more inland. So she was last seen in Lake Elsinore when she was 13 years old. Then around the spring 2024, approximately, they believe that that is when Celeste was murdered. And I want to actually pull this up really quickly. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. So when she was reported missing on April 5th, it was after she had left to see a movie. Okay. So then literally a whole year goes by. Fast forward to September 2025. And that unfortunately is when her remains were found decomposed and I'm not going to say what happened to her remains, but decomposed in the trunk of the Tesla or the frunk, which I hate that word. You know, I hate that word, but the front trunk of the Tesla. And what was weird about this too is the Tesla had been dumped pretty much. Then people reported smelling a foul odor coming from it. They don't know how long it had been there for like an exact time. There was an approximation, and they discovered her remains. Inside, they saw that, or I'm sorry, the vehicle was abandoned in the Hollywood Hills area. It was about, I want to say at least over a month at that point that it had been abandoned. And they found, they brought in cadaver dogs, they brought the body bags, they found her remains. And while it has been said and confirmed from different people, but not really in a large way, it has been said that her remains were not intact, therefore dismembered. And we don't know. We know, I've heard and read in certain filings things about her torso and different things like that, but basically disposed of. Okay. Now, around this time,
W2 in
everybody
the
started
chat right
looking at
now.
David,
We
right?
watching the
Because
David
not
case right
only
now.
were they
That's
allegedly in a
we on
relationship,
right
which, by the
now.
way,
'Cause
this means she would have been 13 years old at the time that she was murdered. She would have been 14 years old at the time her remains were found. David is now 21 years old. So no matter what way you look at it, obviously a different
Minor,
dynamic,
bro.
a power
That's
play, and
sick.
statutory situation going on with that relationship. So people immediately started looking at David, being like, you guys were allegedly in a relationship. There were some matching tattoos. There were some social media things, but tying them together. He had this weird ass music video called Romantic Homicide, where it depicted a lot of what people allege Celeste went through, and it just didn't look good. Then in the fall of 2025, the authorities start building their case, whether that case is against David or against other people or multiple people. It was not officially announced, but they start building their case. Around this same time, in what appears to me to be a very guilty move for somebody who says that they have no involvement, he not only leaves his $20,000 a month Hollywood Hills home that he was renting, but the properties he did have in his name in Texas and I believe one other state, he started shuffling it around and moving it to his mother's name, to under other family names, to where they weren't hit in his name anymore, which is a very strategic move because in the event that you either get indicted for something or you catch a civil suit down the line, people can go after your assets, right? So to move your assets, even when you're claiming that you're innocent and that you had no involvement, feels as though you're preparing for something and you're trying to protect your assets and make sure that there is some sort of shield so that you're not going to have to give those up, turn those over, and that your family will be protected. So then around November 2025, As everybody was still picking up information, this is around the time when TMZ also had reported that not only were her remains dismembered, but I believe they also said that it had been frozen at one point. And other I think LAPD actually came out combating that, saying that's not true at all. I don't know if they meant
Okay.
the dismemberment or the frozen element, but around the same time it was November, and that's when the ME, the medical examiner, started removing some of the information that was out there and that was public and trying to seal things because it was getting not only out of control, but the investigation was obviously continuing as well. Now, cause of death at this point was still undetermined. Manner of death at this point publicly was still undetermined. That doesn't mean that they didn't know the manner of death at this point, but it was undetermined. So then, around February of 2026, this year, the grand jury activity starts to begin. Not only are some of David's family members subpoenaed to testify, but there were other people attached to him, whether it's through his entourage, his manager, his friend, other people involved. One guy even didn't show up, and then they arrested him for that because he wasn't cooperating. And they start building this whole thing. Like, the grand jury's coming in, they're subpoenaing people, they're trying to get stories, and it looks as though you're in this, I guess, like you could say, like this crescendo state of where you're building up to what people hoped would be an arrest and more information and an understanding of what happened. Which, think about Celeste's family this entire time,
No
missing for
word.
now at this point over 2 years and not having solid answers as to what happened. Of course, unfortunately, knowing that her body had been identified and that her remains were recovered, but not knowing what happened, what went down, how it happened, who was responsible, how many people truly are responsible, which I'll talk to in a minute. Let me make a note here to come back to that, just because, I'm scatterbrained a little bit. And so it looks as though there is some forward movement in this case, which is great.
Okay.
Then last week on April 17th, David was arrested. He was also taken into custody near Chateau Marmont, which is like the hot spot for celebrities, which I think is kind of ironic in this situation. People go there for secrecy, to go under the radar, to have affairs, to do all sorts of crazy things, and just to enjoy it. That too. But he's arrested near there. Then he was booked into jail, and here's the key: without bail, meaning they, I'm sure, either thought that the charges are severe enough and they have enough evidence that he could potentially be a flight risk, that who knows what could happen at this point, right? He
Mm-hmm.
has means, 1,000%. Now, going back to his entourage, the reason I say other people potentially involved, and I wonder if we will find out more of this today. Sorry, keeping an eye on the clock here because I don't want to just keep talking and miss it. But because they brought so many people in and
Hold it.
had
I'm gonna go
subpoenaed
check on my
them,
food.
it's my belief, and I'd have to go
Keep
back
listening
actually,
though.
and maybe I need to put this on my timeline. I believe that he had left for tour right when the Tesla was dumped in the late summer of 2025. And so it's my personal belief, which could totally be wrong. I think that people in his camp or his entourage helped him with whatever happened, whether that was dismemberment, disposal, driving the car away, lying for him, protecting him, whatever, cleaning up the scene, whatever happened. And what was interesting in all of this is that early on, when there wasn't a manner of death or cause of death determined, my worry was, oh, if she unfortunately was so badly decomposed, they're not able to determine that and not even able to determine manner of death. He could easily say, we were partying, she OD'd, I panicked, I disposed of her body, which you would think is bad enough. However, there have been so many cases where, even if there's dismemberment involved, but even just concealment of a body or wrongful disposal of a body, if you can't prove murder and that's all, and you cut, but you say, like, yeah, I did dispose of her, I panicked, whatever happened. There's been cases where people only get 10 months for that. Sometimes even less than that. Sometimes just like probation and fines, and so, which is so crazy to me. So my concern early on was like, oh no, if they don't identify what the manner of death is here, no cause of death even, but just manner of death, I wonder if he's going to play that and say we were all partying and I just panicked, and then he wouldn't catch really much of anything. His career may be ruined. He may be canceled. Maybe not. I don't know, based on his weirdo fans. But that was my concern. So the fact that they have now nailed down manner of death as homicide, I think is a very good sign. And again, I have heard that there is a cause of death as well, which we'll see if they bring that up today. So now we know today there's going to be a press conference. The charges are expected to be formally filed. The case has been officially ruled as a homicide by the medical examiner, and there will be arguments over bail, evidence, and all of those things. So we will see what happens in this presser. I'm actually going to kind of just like pop over. I have a couple. It's weird. There's not a lot of links. Oh, here we go. I'm going to just do this of where it's streaming, but I did find a good one here. Let me see. My good old pals at Court TV have got it going. So I'm going to just pull this up actually really quick. And then if I can get a cleaner one, I will. And I'm going to keep the volume on just so that when it starts going, we'll hear it. But what is happening here? Why is the chat showing? The chat been showing the whole time? How? I don't know what is going on here. Sorry if the chat's showing on the main screen. Let me see if I can figure out how to remove that. Is the chat on the screen for you guys too, or is it just on the side? Oh, it's because there. Guys, when I tell you that I am tech challenged, it's because I am tech challenged. I get the volume up on that too, just because sometimes the volume sucks at. And then I'll mute myself. It is really dark. I know. I'm going to pull up another one too as we're doing this, just because if that one's better, I will go to that feed. And then I'm going to make it full screen. Don't worry, because I know you don't want to see my face. You want to see theirs. Let's see.
We really needed that power slide.
Check this out. Slide it. Boom.
That's fire.
I have to tell you too, the amount of stuff that went down last week when I was taking my kids away for spring break is unbelievable, but all good news because it was all updates in cases, so that's positive. And I've seen a lot of the DMs asking for Haley Beck coverage. It's coming. It's coming. Let me turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone just in case that's making things annoying. Oh, well, thank you. I would love to stare at your face, by the way. Thank you. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And then I'll make it full screen. Let me check this other one. It's going. And we may move over. I'm going to just share whatever has the best audio and visual. Oh, good. Audio and stream is great. Yay. Good. Why is everybody asking me about a baby? Who's asking me about a baby? I am going over the Athena Strand case as well. That's one that I covered very early on years ago. It is appalling and devastating. And yes, the trial that has been going on and the new details that have come out and some of the audio and the video, it is so fucking sick. I wasn't going to revisit it because each time I've been watching the trial, I've been physically sick to my stomach. But a lot of you have been commenting on my video from when we first covered the case years ago when it first happened, asking for the update. So that is coming probably this Thursday in headline highlights. A few people have asked if I'm having a baby. No, just gaining weight. Just gaining weight. Definitely not having a baby. 2 is enough. But thanks. Okay, let's see. This other feed still isn't live yet. I think everybody's trying to find the pool cam. It'll be brighter once I make it big. Oh, hi. Hi. Jess is in here. Hi. Hi. Do you want to come say hi? No? Come on. Hop in. Say hello. We're on this cam. Everybody say hi to Jess. No, you got to come over here. This is the camera. No, you're not even. No, this camera isn't on. It's this camera. People in the chat are asking if I'm pregnant, so apparently I need to go to Weight Watchers. Oh, the glow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Thank you. I'm going to put this up. The medical examiner made a statement that Celeste wasn't pregnant, nor is Annie. Thank you. Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Oh,
We are going to give you an update on this case here in just a minute, just to give you an idea of what's going to happen here. We've got the Los Angeles County District Attorney, Nathan Hochman, and the Chief of Police, Jim McDonald, coming up, and they will be speaking to you. I will ask you when we get to any questions. There's only going to be time for just a few brief questions, so this isn't going to be a long Q&A afterwards. I'm going to ask you if you could do one at a time as much as possible so that we can hear the question, process it, and answer it appropriately. District Attorney Nathan Hochman.
Good morning. My name is Nathan Hochman. I'm the District Attorney of Los Angeles County. With me up here is Los Angeles Police Department Chief Jim. On the DA side are the Assistant District Attorney Maria Ramirez, who oversees our special operations. We have John McKinney, who is our Director of Specialized Prosecutions. The Assistant Head Deputy District Attorney is Habib Balian of the Major Crimes Division. Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman of the Major Crimes Division will be the lead prosecutor on this case. From the Los Angeles Police Department, we also have Captain Scott Williams, who's the commanding officer of LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division, the Chief of Detectives, Alan Hamilton, the Director of Specialized Prosecutions, Mike Rimkunis, and the LAPD detectives on this case, Josh Byers and Corey Farrell. Today, I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke, the musician known as David, spelled D4VD, in connection with the brutal and horrific murder of Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time. These charges include the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring. That is first-degree murder with special circumstances. The special circumstances being lying in wait, committing this crime for financial gain, or murdering a witness in an investigation. These special circumstances carry with it, along with the first-degree murder charge, a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. The determination on whether or not the district attorney's office will seek the death penalty will be made at a later time. Before I get into the actual charges, and there are additional charges against Mr. Burke, including continuous sexual acts, lewd and lascivious sexual acts with an individual under 14 years old, and mutilating a human remains of a body. Before I get into the description of these charges and their seriousness, I want to look at this as a parent. I am a parent of 3 children, and a parent's nightmare is a situation where your daughter goes out one night and never comes back. As we will show in a court of law, and what I also want to make sure about that the understanding of these charges is clear, is my description of these charges is not evidence that we are going to present in court. These charges, in fact, will not be evidence in the court. Evidence will be the witness testimony, the documents, and different types of admissible testimony that we will admit into court in the prosecution, and if it leads to the eventual trial of Mr. Burke. to convince a jury of 12 people beyond a reasonable doubt that each and every one of these charges is true, as well as the special allegations and circumstances that have been alleged. Now, back to this being a parent's nightmare. On April 23rd, 2025, as been alleged by the complaint, Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time, went to Mr. Burke's house in the Hollywood Hills. She was never heard from again. On September 8th, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, Miss Celeste remains, her dismembered and decomposed remains were found in 2 bags inside of a front trunk of a car registered to Mr. Burke. Thereafter began an investigation. The investigation was to determine who killed, who murdered Celeste months and months before. That investigation was carried out in unison and in partnership between the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division and the District Attorney's Office. At every point in the investigation, through the arrest and the filing of charges, the LAPD and the District Attorney's Office have worked in lockstep. There's been no disagreements amongst these entities in deciding how to proceed with this case, ultimately leading to these charges today. So what you have as well with these charges is that, again, there are 3 sets of charges that have been brought. The first-degree murder with special circumstances, and again, those special circumstances are lying in wait. That Celeste went to Mr. Burke's home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, at his invitation, and again, was not heard from again. The second is a special circumstance being that this murder was committed for financial gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge, in addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste. And the investigation was into the lewd and lascivious sexual acts committed by Mr. Burke that is the subject of count 2 of this complaint with Celeste while she was under 14 years old. I had the chance to meet with some of the family members of Celeste, and their grief is uncalculable as to what happened to their daughter. What they have demanded, what we have assured them that the District Attorney's Office, working with LAPD, would give them is the proof beyond a reasonable doubt on who killed their daughter, on how their daughter was killed, when their daughter was killed, and bring that killer to justice. That killer that we have now charged is David Anthony Burke. We will have questions after I speak and Chief McDonald speaks. At this point, I invite Chief McDonald to speak.
Thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you all for being here. I want to begin by expressing my deepest condolences to the parents of Celeste Rivas. No parent or any human being should have to endure what you've gone through. Today, alongside DA Hochman and our partners at the LA County District Attorney's Office, and thanks to the tireless and hard work of our investigators at the LAPD, we're announcing the arrest and prosecution of David Burke for the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas. Throughout the 7-month investigation, this department has faced criticism for how we handled the case and for our decision not to provide details. I want to be clear about something. My duty is not to fuel speculation, it's to deliver justice, and that requires patience and discipline on everybody's part. This investigation was driven by a single purpose: to secure justice for Celeste Rivas and for those who loved her. We had to be certain that nothing we did or said would ever jeopardize this case. Ms. Rivas was a reported runaway from Riverside County. During the course of our investigation, detectives learned that she had been involved in a sexual relationship with Mr. Burke when she was a minor and he was an adult. On April 23rd, 2025, Ms. Rivas arrived at Mr. Burke's home in the Hollywood Hills. That's the last time she was known to be alive. On September 8th, 2025, Ms. Rivas's dismembered and badly decomposed body was discovered in the front trunk of Mr. Burke's impounded Tesla. From that moment forward, our investigators faced an extraordinary, difficult, and complex case. The condition of her remains delayed the medical examiner's ability to be able to determine cause of death. The substantial amount of time that passed between her death and the discovery meant that crucial evidence had degraded or disappeared. And as detectives worked to uncover the truth, they also had to sift through and debunk a great deal of false information circulating publicly. These challenges were real, and they required patience, precision, and an unwavering commitment to the facts. Despite these obstacles and despite intense public pressure, our Robbery Homicide Division detectives remained steadfast in their duties. They recovered
W2 in
and
the chat
analyzed
right
a
now.
substantial
This
amount of digital
is
and forensic evidence.
insane.
They stayed focused, disciplined, and committed to uncovering the truth. Their work, in close collaboration with the District Attorney's Office, has brought us to this moment today. I want to thank the District Attorney and his team, as always, for their partnership. This case demanded coordination, persistence, and a shared commitment to justice. Also, thank you to our media partners for showing up today and for sharing this important message with the public. And finally, to Ms. Rivas's family, we cannot undo the pain you are feeling. Our hope is that today brings some measure of accountability and a step in the journey toward healing. Please know that the Los Angeles Police Department remains fully committed to seeking justice on behalf of your daughter. Thank you.
Oh, that's not my closed captions. Okay.
So at this point, we'll take questions.
Anything more you can tell us about the fact that she was a witness in the pending investigation, that she reported the abuse, who was doing that investigation?
The details of the allegations that have made, particularly with that special circumstance, will be produced in court.
Do you
believe
the difficulty it was to determine both the matter, cause, and date?
So with respect to the coroner's report, we will be seeking quite quickly to provide an order to the court that now allows the coroner to release that report to the public.
Do you believe that he acted?
Between the finding of the body of Celeste's body or her remains, why has it taken so long for an arrest to be made?
I think the police chief got it right, that in a situation where you don't have an eyewitness account, or we can't point to a video that shows the killer killing someone, you have to go through the very rigorous and thorough investigation to look at all the digital and forensic evidence. You have to speak with witnesses, often who are cooperative and some who are not cooperative, in order to obtain all the information necessary to decide who did what, when, how, and what their mental state was at the time. That is what we've been doing over the last, between September 8th, roughly, and today when we bring these charges on April 20th. So again, it's a type of case that you want to make sure you get maximum information. And by the way, if there's anyone out there that has material information about this particular murder or any other actions taken by Mr. Burke, please come forward to the Los Angeles Police Department, come forward to the LA County DA's office, and report that information.
Mr. Hochman, there are other people who were aware of this relationship. Is it possible that you will be arresting other people within his circle and didn't act alone in this death?
Again, with respect to whether or not there's any other individuals or we're going to take any other actions, you will know about them if we do, but at this point, I'm not commenting.
Do you believe that you know how she was killed, beyond it being homicide, the actual cause of death?
The coroner's report will be released shortly. Because it is not currently released, I'm not going to be commenting.
But was it determined, not that
if you won't say what it was, but has it been determined how she was killed beyond it being homicide?
The coroner has made a determination on how Celeste died, and at the point that the coroner's report becomes public, we'll be able to comment.
Was there a specific breakthrough last week? Is there physical evidence that ties David to this murder?
There is physical evidence and there is forensic and digital evidence that we intend to present in court to prove these charges beyond a reasonable doubt.
Within your investigation, and just to his question, are you able to tell us exactly what the smoking gun is? And also, if you can address the issue of his visit to Santa Barbara and that, how does it connect with the murder?
So with respect to the actual details of the evidence we're going to be presenting in court, I'm not going to do that today. As far as the concept of a smoking gun, the smoking gun is the totality of the evidence that we're going to bring to prove any case, whether it's this case or any case, beyond a reasonable doubt.
Is there any evidence that he abused other underage girls that he investigated?
An investigation is ongoing. If information comes forward on with respect to any additional crimes, we will certainly investigate it.
One more question. One more. There's been so much discussion about the difficulties in this case. The chief talked about it as well. What makes you confident you can prove these allegations?
What makes us confident is the totality of the evidence that has been obtained by the LAPD robbery homicide, by the work that the district attorney's office has done, that has led us to the point where we believe we can prove each and every one of these three charges and the special circumstances and the special allegation beyond a reasonable doubt.
Thank you, everybody. If you raise your hand if you have Spanish language and you need a Spanish language translation. Okay. Keep your hands up. My team will come around to you and we will have somebody have you.
Thank you very, very much.
Sorry, just the timeline, sir. You said, has she been missing 2024 or 2025?
I'll jump on here in a second. Okay, let me mute this. Remove. Whoa, that was really loud. Okay, obviously a lot to go over. I was like scribbling feverishly. So let's just kind of revisit all of this right now. So we know that she first went missing in April of 2024. That's when she was first reported missing after she went to see the movie, and that was from Lake Elsinore. Fast forward a year to April 23rd, 2025, and that is the date that she went to David's house, one of the dates where they believe she was never seen of again after that date. So I believe that that is the death date that they're going to mark. So April 23rd, 2025, which would have meant that she was 14 years old because her birthday was September 7th, which is actually the day before her remains were found. So if she was 13, she turned 14 that fall. Then she went to David's house the following spring while she was 14. Then her remains were found the day after she turned 15. Now let's go into, okay, if I have one more fucking moron in this chat who is saying some fucking like bullshit, get out of here. Literally, honestly, a 14-year-old girl is killed and you're in here like spouting free David bullshit. Get out of my face with that. So let's go through the charges. First-degree murder with special circumstances. And the special circumstances that they are citing: lying in wait, which is crazy, murdering a witness in an investigation, which that investigation is to the investigation in his lewd and lascivious acts with Celeste because she's an individual under 14 years old, and also for financial gain. That's another special circumstance because he didn't want to lose his fame, his celebrity. He wanted to keep making money on tour. We know he went on tour right after the Tesla was dumped and found. And so special circumstances. They are pursuing the absolute max, which could be either life in prison with no parole or the death penalty. He is also being charged with his second charge is continuous sexual acts, lewd and lascivious acts with an individual under 14 years old. And I thought what was interesting really right there is that where it goes into somebody asked after he announced everything, was she a witness in the investigation? Like, had she said something about the sex acts and the relationship and which I call it a relationship loosely. I mean more of just like that they knew each other. Did she confide in somebody about that? So was there already an ongoing investigation? And that's what led to this, which they said we will find out at trial. If it gets there, like they're not going to comment on that. So I'm wondering if there was already an investigation and if she did speak out and that's why he killed her to shut her up. The third charge is mutilating the remains of a body because we know he did in fact dismember her. In terms of the trial, what they believe that they are going to bring forward that will prove his guilt is a lot of witness testimony, digital evidence, and also a lot of documents. When it was asked if there will be other possible arrests, whether it was arresting people who knew about the relationship, such as David's friends, maybe family members, whomever, they said, we will find that out if those arrests are made, but at this time, they are not going to make any sort of comments on that. And then lastly, the cause of death has in fact been determined by the coroner. He is not releasing it until the coroner's report is made public, which should be being released shortly. We get notified of everything that LAPD and adjacent agencies release. So I will let you guys know on my Instagram account as soon as we know that information. My Instagram is @_Annie Elise. So just make sure that you are following that. We'll get that posted today. We also have True Crime with Annie Elise, 2 different accounts where we post way more true crime stuff all of the time. So as soon as we know, I will let you know. So that's where we're at. Let's see. I'm kind of surprised about the lying in wait, but also not surprised. And at this point, he is continuing to be held, it appears, without any sort of bail being set. And we'll see where this goes. They seem very confident in what they have against him. And when it was asked why it took so long, they said they believe that in the totality of their evidence that they have collected, that they have enough to convict him. So life with no parole or the death penalty, which I know not a lot of people agree with the death penalty. I am not one of those people. I believe if you hurt a child, you deserve the death penalty, no ifs, ands, or buts. And she obviously was a child. So that is where we are at right now. Obviously, now that this big chunk of information has been released, there is going to be a lot more that is going to come out over the next day or two, maybe even just throughout this week. I will let you know on headline highlights, but also we'll post about it on socials. But usually when there's a big info dump like this, more information starts trickling in as well, whether we know who those witnesses are, what some of their testimony was. They mentioned the digital trail, what some of those text messages showed, what the GPS showed, the pings. So we're not going to obviously see the entire discovery that they're going to bring forward in court, but we will start getting drips and drabs of information as this now is moving through, because we were at the biggest standstill. Now that that's been pushed open and going forward, we'll start learning more. So, and I mean, this is literally in my backyard. So when trial day comes, you know I'm going to be there. Lake Elsinore's in my backyard too. So I will definitely be following this closely like we have been from the very start, and I will keep you posted. But expect an update in this Thursday's episode of Headline Highlights, which releases here on YouTube, also on the podcast. And hopefully everything, goes well and she gets the justice she deserves. Her family get the answers that they have been looking for. I know there's been a lot of rumors too and speculation that in that time from when she first disappeared in 2024 all the way through 2025, that he was paying Celeste's family and giving them money. And so a lot of people think that that shows that they were complicit in this or that they had their head in the sand. I don't think, to my knowledge, at least from everything I've seen and where I've looked, I have never seen any sort of confirmation that says that they've accepted money from him. I think that is just a rumor. But again, as more drips and drabs of information come out, we will, of course, learn that.
And
so,
even if they did, none of that
also,
warrants
I want to address this
their
comment really quick
child
that I'm saying.
to
I wonder who
get
paid for that plane
murdered.
to write that message. You guys may have seen on your social
Like,
medias that there was
not saying
a
it's
plane
right
that
that they
flew
were
over
going to get
Coachella this
paid
weekend that wrote in the
for their
sky,
relationship to
Celeste is a
happen, but
liar.
like
I believe that that was promotion for a
to
Netflix
murder my
show
child,
called Roommates. That was just
I don't care about
very
none of the
poor
payments.
timing. I, again, can't tell you because I didn't hire the plane to write that in the sky, but that's what I've heard. I haven't heard that it is
Sick
in
as fuck if they
connection with
were,
this case,
but
just poor timing and sharing the same name, unfortunately. So just want to throw that out there because I know there's a lot of mixed reports and news and fake news and all of those things. So let's just hope that she gets the justice that she deserves, that her family gets their answers, and I will keep you updated on this as soon as we know more. So make sure that you're following, you're subscribed if you're not, so that you don't miss those. We'll probably do more live streams like this off the cuff, and I appreciate you sticking with me today, even through the tech difficulties. And until the next one, guys, just be nice, don't kill people, and don't hurt children.
You know, that's the fact that you gotta say that is insane. I feel like that. Yo, Muddy.
Breaking news, the autopsy report for
fucking
Celeste Rivas
insane,
Hernandez in the David murder investigation has just been released. Welcome
How
to
you feeling today,
Sidebar,
Muddy? How
presented
was
by
your day?
Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, so thanks for joining us here on this breaking sidebar. As I mentioned right here, this is what we've been waiting for in the David investigation, in the Celeste Rivas death investigation. This is the coroner's report. So it just came in, right? So after David was arrested, after
Pretty
he's been
solid, bro. How about
charged with
you?
the death charged with the murder
Get
of
some laundry.
14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This
Had
is
a
what
great
we've been waiting for. The
breakfast.
cause of
It's
death.
been
This
good
has
to you.
been
I'm not gonna lie.
sealed for months.
It's been
And
very
this is providing
solid.
a lot of
Very,
details. I'm going to tell you right
solid.
now,
It's been good to
it
do.
is very difficult to read through this. It is gruesome, but this is going to be
The
a
week
key
has
point
been really
for both
good.
the
I'm not gonna lie.
prosecution and the defense. We know that Celeste's body, the body of this 14-year-old
This
girl,
shit
was found
is fucking
in
insane,
the
bro.
trunk of a Tesla that was allegedly registered to David in Los Angeles.
Well, since you're here now, just to catch you up a little bit, basically we listened to like the court, well, not the court, the district attorney talk a little bit about the case. A lot of things they haven't disclosed yet because the case isn't fully, like, the case hasn't started, like the trial hasn't started yet, so they can't disclose a lot of information. But like, so far as we know, like, she was disembodied. She was found in his Tesla. People that are friends with him denied going to court when they were summoned, so they had to like get arrested because they were subpoenaed, but they didn't go, so they got arrested. Man, shit. I feel like to be his friend and not, like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I find out one of my close friends is a murderer, I'm snitching. I'm not gonna lie, I'm snitching. Like, if I know that they for sure did what they're saying, that I'm snitching. I'm not gonna lie, right then and there. Like, if it's a drug charge, if it's minor charges, I'm not gonna switch my mans. I don't know nothing. But when it comes to, like, you show me that you got that in you, oh nah, I have to get you locked up, because if I don't cooperate with you, you showed me in 4K that you get down like that. Ain't no difference between me and the next person when it comes to somebody who's not right in the head and able to disembody somebody, bro. I'm snitching. To disembody somebody, like, I'm not gonna lie, that is some Dahmer, Bundy, like, that is serial killer status. To sit there and take a human piece by piece, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I don't got that in me. That's so much blood splatter, one. Two, sick to be able to move on and then go on tour after you did all of that. Make songs about her. Nah, it's just like, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, these are all allegations until it goes to trial, because they haven't given much information. Allegations against him, but it's not looking too good for Bud. I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking too good for him. If he didn't do it, shit, I'll be surprised as fuck. Cause I'm not gonna lie, when I heard about it the first time, nobody was telling me he didn't do that shit. It was finding your V gang. Don't get me wrong, somebody could try to set him up, but the fact that months later it comes out that they arrested you because they definitely believe you did it, not gonna lie, That's what I'm saying. Not gonna lie, like, innocent till proven guilty. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like it's not looking good for you, my boy. It's just not looking good for you. It's 1,000% given. You did it. You thought you were gonna try to play the I got frame game, and you failed.
Back on September 8th, 2025. And again, this
And the
is going to
people
be
that
a
are
key
his fans that are still
factor
riding
in
for
this
him,
prosecution as he faces not only first-degree murder charges because they're highlighting special
if it ever come out that
circumstances
Chris
here,
Brown did
lying
something
in
like this,
wait,
bro,
financial gain,
I love his
that
music.
she
Don't
was
get
a
me
witness
wrong,
to a
but
crime.
I can't
But he's also
support it,
facing
bro.
sex
That's too
crimes
much.
charges and mutilation of human remains. So I want to go through this. I want to bring on a special guest. I'm not going to do it by myself. I want to make sense of this. I'm bringing on Mary Jimbelik, a former forensic pathologist and former chief medical examiner, to go through this. Mary, thank you so much for taking the time. Before we even get started into the details, I would be remiss if I didn't just start with the statement from the County of Los Angeles medical examiner. I'm going to read it verbatim. The County of Los Angeles Department of Medical Examiner determined the cause and manner of death for 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez is multiple penetrating injuries caused by objects. The manner of death is homicide. Ms. Rivas Hernandez was discovered at 1100 hours on September 8, 2025, in the front trunk of a vehicle in a tow yard in Los Angeles, and death was pronounced by a detective with the LAPD. A deputy medical examiner conducted an examination of Ms. Rivas Hernandez on September 10, 2025, at the DME's Forensic Science Center. The cause and manner of death were determined December 9th, 2025. A court order initiated by the LAPD previously prevented the DME from releasing its findings. And this is the statement of Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Ode Ukbo. After several months, I am grateful this information can now be released not only to the public, but also to the grieving family enduring loss. It is unfathomable they have had to wait this long to learn what happened to their daughter. The transparency of the information contained in our findings and reports is essential for empowering the community to make informed changes, to effectively reduce fear and allowing the community to take informed action. Making the department's information publicly available is not just about accountability, it is also about social justice and prevention. By ensuring access to this information, we strengthen our ability to learn, to act, and ultimately to prevent the next tragic loss of life. I want to extend my gratitude to our partner agencies for taking the necessary step of filing an order with the court to make this disclosure possible. Mary, I'll first start there. It's not every day you hear a statement like this from a chief medical examiner. Let's start right there.
That's true. Sometimes we don't want to release the cause, the specifics about the cause of death in an active investigation because perhaps it's information that only the killer would know. And so that's understandable that that might be obscured initially. But I think what the chief medical examiner in LA is saying is that they had this information, they wanted to release this information, and they were thwarted in doing so.
And when you hear, I'm reading from it, right? So the date of the injury, they say, is unknown. The place of the injury is unknown. Pronounced date, time, September 8th, 2025, 11 a.m. Date of examination, September 10th, 2025. And it was completed, right? So December 9th, 2025. Is that time span typical?
I think from September to December, that's reasonable because they're awaiting certain specialty ancillary tests, such as toxicologic examination. And it's much harder to do on a decomposing body than if it were fresh deceased. So the fact that that takes a couple months to get that information so that that's part of the whole picture of, what happened to this poor teenager, that's reasonable.
And just to be clear, as we talk about this, David is innocent until proven guilty, and his defense attorneys have said that he did not murder Celeste, and he is not the cause of her death. So I want to go through the specifics right now. Again, it is not easy to hear this, but this is going to be an important part of the legal case. So her cause of death has been ruled multiple penetrating injuries. Her death has been classified as a homicide. I'm going to read verbatim. And by the way, they put diagrams in here as well, but 2 penetrating wounds of the torso, right abdomen with injury to liver, left chest with penetration of underlying intercostal space and cortical disruption of adjacent ribs.
Bro.
Other findings: bilateral dismemberment of upper and lower extremities, multiple additional skin defects.
Nah, but low-key, he can't
Death
look
was
sad.
pronounced at the scene.
Because allegedly,
Autopsy
he's
examination
trying
was
to plead
limited
that he
by
didn't know
extensive
Shorty.
post-mortem changes. There, and by the way, this is something to keep in mind because you're talking about dismemberment and decomposition. There are 2 penetrating wounds of the torso with smooth edges that may represent sharp force
like,
injuries.
He's trying to say, like, he met her once
she
she was
the upper
a fan,
abdomen
like,
penetrates the liver, and the wound on the left chest
he ain't never
penetrates
know her.
one of the left intercostal spaces with disruption of the adjacent ribs' cortical surfaces.
Because he
the
was
left
dating some
lung
other shorty
appears intact.
named Celeste.
The bilateral upper
trying
and
to
lower
cover up with
extremities
that.
show full
He was with
thickness
her.
dismemberment. Multiple other skin and soft tissue defects are present without apparent associated internal injuries. The etiology of these defects is not clearly apparent due to severe postmortem changes. Postmortem toxicology performed on liver tissue shows the presence of a low level of ethanol, which may be due in postmortem changes or ingestion, and does not appear to be contributory to the cause of death. Let's start right there. What does this mean, and what does this tell you, and what are there still questions about?
Well, the body sounds like it's in a state
chewing and munching crunching in my ear
decomposition with some loss of integrity of the skin surface and some bloating, skin slippage, etc. But despite that, the medical examiner was able to identify 2 wounds that penetrated, meaning they went into the body, significantly into the liver, which would bleed a lot, and significantly into the lung.
Don't ask me what I noticed, y'all. I just watch a lot of like weird crime. Like I watch like a lot of like Dexter, a lot of cop and like weird serial killer crime shows. But like to cut into bone, you need special tools for that. Like your average everyday like kitchen knife cannot cut through bone. So like the fact that this nigga did what he did to this young lady, yeah, like he's Dexter, bro. Like what I learned from Dexter and just research, bro. If you ever wanna, feel me, somebody, and if you wanna, you have to like drain their body, bro, to save like the mess, which by itself takes a long time. So that means he either had a hatchet, a bone saw, or a chainsaw randomly just chilling in his crib. Because you cannot do such things with your average everyday kitchen knife. Hence why Jay Dahmer, his crib is smelling crazy. Hence why he just had shit everywhere, bro. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this low-key stems from like people not talking to their kids and schools not talking to children about, like, I feel like the world tries to be so like inclusive with a bunch of bullshit that doesn't matter. But when it comes to serious shit like this that can happen every day, we don't talk about the predators no more. We don't talk about making sure you are home before it. Like, kids don't have curfew no more. You, like, parents need to make sure, like, they give their kids curfew. Because it's not even just stuff like this. There's 12-year-olds, 9-year-olds getting, feel me, every day because they're out too late, hanging with the wrong people. Talk to your kids. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, your kids are going to tell you the truth. But if you have that bond with your kid's not going to lie to you if you have that bond with them. I'm going to just keep it a stack. Like, I ain't really lied to my mom and my dad when I was a kid. Because it's just like, I know they're doing it all for my safety. And I was more paranoid if something happened to me anyways. So I never go anywhere alone. Especially as a kid, I never went anywhere alone. I made sure somebody was with me at all times. Especially if it was late outside. So it's like, people don't do that no more. People not talking to their kids, checking on their kids. Schools aren't talking to their kids about stuff like this that can happen. Predators, kidnapping. Like, we don't talk about these. Like, we try to hide those things. And it's just like, especially now in times, bro, those are things we have to make sure we're telling our kids about. Because, like, yeah, like, depending what area you're in, a Thule is probably, like, a higher concern than you getting, feel me, grabbed. But if you never bring it up to the kid, and then it happens in your area, why would you want your kid to ever be the first case in your city? In a long time, or the first case ever. You feel me? And I feel like we're so open about everything else in the world. Like, trans, gay, like, we talk about so much sexuality and so much sexual stuff to children, but we don't talk about the real shit that we should really be talking to children about. Staying safe, watching your surroundings. A lot of kids don't know what to do, and I've seen this in 4K. A lot of kids don't know what to do when approached by a police officer. I've legit watched a fucking, he was either in 7th or 8th grade, but I've watched the kid run away from the cops. A black kid at that. You should never do that. Automatically, you look guilty. You automatically look guilty because you ran. You didn't even like, all the nigga did was approach him and nigga ran. You automatically look guilty. You can't even try to plead your case and say you didn't do what you did. And I've been in situations like that before. I ain't do it. I ain't do what you said I'm doing. You could check my bag and open my bag for them and everything. Because I know I'm innocent. And granted, like, later on, the kid didn't do nothing. But he got arrested regardless because he ran. So now he's resisting arrest. So it's like, people don't teach their kids things that, like, I'm glad I was born when I was born. But, like, people don't not teaching their kids stuff that they should, like. The social skills of this generation is horrible. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to do nothing. And they're so entitled. And, like, I feel like that sounds so, like, I don't know, something like that. Like, not even to be, like, oh, because I'm older now. Like, I feel like even when I was a kid, we wanted to get money. Niggas was willing to do. Nigga, you asked me to go paint your house, trim your bushes. Nah, like, at my age, bro, I was just trying to make bread. I didn't care what I had to do to make it. I was just trying to make bread. You tell me I gotta sit there and garden, water the flowers, I got you. Nowadays, kids don't want to do nothing, bro. They don't want to do nothing. None at all. Why am I doing that? What I gave him this knowledge? You gain simple knowledge? So it's like, you gotta talk to your kids about stuff like this, cause it's just like, you leaving them in a position to, like, just not know, and, like, it's not good for the youth to not be knowing, bro. Even, like, I'm only 23. I'm still learning life. I love knowledge. Cause if I know something today, when it happens to me in real life tomorrow, I'm not gonna panic. I'll have the knowledge to figure it out now. You feel me? So it's like, but niggas I don't know, bro.
The space around the lung, which also would cause a problem with air and blood accumulating there. And if it were a freshly deceased person, perhaps the edges of the wounds would tell you the weapon much more clearly, but it's more difficult in a decomposing body. But they are trying to generally describe the wounds and the shape without saying it's absolutely a knife that did this.
And to be clear, I'm glad you mentioned that because earlier in the week, when they talked about the charges and the special circumstances, it was very specific, a sharp instrument they claim was used. They didn't say it was a knife or an axe or something. They just said it was kind of specific. This is something that was picked up on by TMZ. They believe defense attorneys would jump on this. There are 2 penetrating wounds of the torso with smooth edges that may represent sharp force injuries. So, in other words, is there room here to suggest that it was something else?
Something that was sharp enough to penetrate skin and underlying tissue and go into the liver and then into the space around the lung. Is it, what exactly is it? That's really the question. And I don't know that they'll be able to say exactly the weapon that was used.
They don't want you to know about it.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident up to 1 year ago?
Is there, and I'm going to go through this more. I don't want to ask this question. I have to ask this question. Is there anything in here to indicate that she was alive at the time of dismemberment?
Not from what the medical examiner described. It sounds like classic amputating the body to try to compact it, to hide it, to dispose of it. I've seen that in a number of homicide cases. So nothing that suggests that these amputations occurred while she was alive.
When you go to other parts of the report, they talk about tattoos, and they say description that she had a tattoo on the finger. This is something that we've talked about before. That seemed to be the identifier, one of the ways that they identified her as Celeste. But when you go to other parts of it, other parts of her body, including eye color, cannot assess due to severe postmortem changes. Is that decomposition? Is that dismemberment? So I guess it becomes a question, how significant is that to determine what exactly happened to her, and how much does that complicate this analysis?
Well, forensic pathologists are skilled at identifying wounds and trauma in all manner of body composition. So all the way from the freshly deceased to the skeletonized to the exhumed body. Taking all of that with the education and experience of the Los Angeles Medical Examiner's Office, they're familiar with the interpretation of wounding in a body and seeing it at this decomposition level. So yes, of course it makes it harder. You have to really call on your knowledge base to interpret the wounds. The eyes being collapsed after death is normal. They lose their turgor. They don't, they're not the same shape. So not being able to see her eye color, that's a completely normal thing in a decomposition like this.
Her weight was 71 pounds. Is that...
Well, you lose a lot of weight also, in this sort of death decomposition process. So that's not reliable as to what her ante-mortem weight was.
I want to go to skin defects. Multiple skin defects are also present over the torso, with many perforating the skin and soft tissue without identifiable soft tissue hemorrhage or associated internal organ injuries. They range from 5/16 inch to 1/4 inches in greatest dimension. Multiple superficial linear abrasions are also noted on the right dorsal hand. The upper and lower extremities show full thickness dismemberment with relatively flat cut surfaces through the soft tissue and bone. No discernible hemorrhage is identified at the sites. Multiple fragments of blue plastic material are found embedded in the cut surfaces. Representative fragments are collected by medical examiner criminalists and submitted to the evidence department on September 8th, 2025. The right upper extremity is dismembered 9 inches from the top of the shoulder. The left upper extremity is dismembered 5 inches from the top of the shoulder. The left 4th and 5th fingers are amputated. The right lower extremity is dismembered in 2 places. One site is 12 inches from the top of the leg, and the other is 10 inches from the bottom of the heel. The left lower extremity is dismembered in 2 places. One site is 9 inches from the top of the leg, and the other is 15 inches from the bottom of the heel. It says The head is partially skeletonized with an absent left eye, and there is liquefaction of the soft tissues. What does this tell you about how she was dismembered?
Well, it's important in dismemberment to look at the edges of the wounds. So any tool marks, any particular saw that might have been used to do this, the fact that there are these blue flecks give you some clue if you're able to then locate something that was used in the process. And just doing the careful tool mark analysis on the ends of the bones in all of the amputations, the fact that everything is together there there's the body bag and then there's the trash bag with the limbs in it. They weren't discarded in different places. So you have a lot of material to work on to try to figure out what was used to cut through the limbs.
What amount of effort or tools would be needed to do something like this? And based on the description, I hate to say this, is this someone you would suggest is sloppy, that has never done this before? Does it look disoriented in a way? Just trying to make sense of it.
You know, it's interesting because many people, when they try to dismember a body, they'll try to go for the joint. Somehow they think that's a good place to go when that's a really complicated place to disarticulate a limb. And so the fact that they didn't go for the joint says something about their logic. They were making cuts, presumably to be able to confine her and fit her into a certain amount of space. And so they not only cut the legs in one place, they cut them in two places, you know, to fit them in. Right. I think beyond that, you can just say someone's trying to hide the body. They are doing their best to compact the body to hide it, but they left it all there. So
imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I can't really psychologically analyze that part.
How is an eye missing? Is that from decomposition?
Well, it's not really missing as much as it's all gone away. I believe there was mention also in the report of insect activity.
Yeah, can you talk about that a little bit?
You know, they don't go into great detail about it or about how many generations of insects are there, but it's usually fly activity that we refer to, and adult flies lay eggs in moist places on the body, and then those eggs start to grow
because niggas got a picture of him with Shorty, bro.
Bigger, and then they pupate into the next generation, etc. You know, so forth. So they can do a lot of destruction because they're scavengers, if you will. So they will eat dead tissue, necrotic tissue, and just digest it and eat it, you know, in there, and that's what they do. So many times they will go for the soft parts of the eye and other soft areas.
And does that tell you how long the body has been decomposing, and does it actually relate to a particular location? Is there specific insects that inhabit a certain location, or you could say perhaps there's evidence of those insects being in a certain location?
Yeah, I think that, you know, the entomologists that do this work specifically, the forensic folks, they collect the maggots, they look at them, they see if there's pupa casings there, if any other material from the flies are there, to try to date it. That could give important information.
The female reproductive tract. Okay, this is page 9. Uterus present and not enlarged and without endometrial lesions and hemorrhage. Ovaries and fallopian tubes appropriate for age. Other private areas without lesions. Now, it says other female reproductive tract findings, severe postmortem changes noted. This I just want to highlight because one of the allegations, right, has been put forward is, you know, that David was allegedly engaging in illegal sex acts with a minor, right, with presumably Celeste. And I know that there was at one point a question of, was she pregnant or not? There's nothing to indicate this. Is there something about this particular section that stands out to you?
No, the report indicates the uterus was normal, so it wasn't enlarged as it would be in pregnancy. There wasn't anything seen on the inner lining of the uterus that would be seen in pregnancy. The external genitalia, the description is of decomposed tissue. So whether there was forceful penetration there, because of the advanced state of the decomposition, it wouldn't be seen.
I just want to go back to the skin defects. This is a part that we didn't talk about, or maybe we did. I just need to know if this provides any more information. Skin defect, 3/4 inch. Entrance involving the right abdomen, 21 inches below the top of the head. 1 inch right of midline is a 3/4 inch length penetrating wound with smooth edges. The wound is orientated in the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock directions. Path, the wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the right abdomen and the liver. The wound track has an approximately depth of 1.5 inches front to back. The skin defect involving the lateral left lower chest, 15 inches below the top of the head. 6 inches left of midline is a 9/16 inch penetrating wound with smooth edges. Path, the wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the lateral left lower chest, left intercostal space, and enters the left chest cavity. The wound track has a depth of at least 2 inches left to right. The adjacent ribs show disruption of the cortical bone. Is this anything that we haven't touched on?
Those are the serious fatal wounds that are described by the medical examiner. As I said, going into the body cavity and hitting the liver, which would bleed extensively, and then hitting the pleural cavity on the left, causing air and blood to fill up that space. Again, seeing the blood and seeing the air is not possible this many days of decomposition, but the wounds are there and they mark the track of the penetrating weapon. The fact that there's injury on the ribs themselves might be analyzed for a specific weapon as well. The markings on the ribs.
TMZ reported this. I believe to be in here as well, the toxicology findings, right? So it says there was I believe a presumptive positive for methamphetamine and MDMA, but then apparently there was another screening that says meth was inconclusive, MDMA was not detected.
W4 in the chat right now.
That Celeste may have had alcohol in her system, didn't contribute to her death. I think we touched upon that before.
You watching a David case right now?
If you're reading the same thing,
information
correct me
is
if I'm
crazy,
wrong,
bro.
but what does that tell you?
Well, just referring to the toxicology screening, you can screen for drugs and there can be interfering substances that might look like it's positive for a drug. And then when you do the in-depth analysis to confirm if that's present or not present, that's the more definitive test. So the not detected results after the screening is more relevant, that she didn't have that in her system. The alcohol, you can form alcohol, ethanol, after death in the decomposition process. And so having some there in a decomposed body is not indicative of imbibing the alcohol.
And just one more thing I want to touch upon.
Let's do this.
Oh, this shit is crazy, bro.
So you can now create full ads without filming anything. This is Artlist Studio, where you can create reusable characters and locations.
This is towards the end, just goes into more of the report, how when her body was found, she was wearing a tube top, underwear, leggings, and socks. I observed multiple holes in the front and back of the tube top. She was missing both arms above the elbows and both legs above the knees. The decedent was in an advanced state of decomposition demonstrated by foul odor, discoloration, liquefaction, insect activity, partial skeletonization, and skin slippage. Goes on at another point. She was dismembered and was inside a black body bag and black trash bag. We've known some of this before, but it's just so difficult to hear. Final thoughts on this and anything that we're missing from the report that stood out to you?
I mean, I think the medical examiner did a thorough job, and in fact, associating the clothing with the wounds on the body is a very important part of analyzing, the penetrating wounds. So some of those additional injuries in the clothing may shed some light on the marks that can't be further identified on the body. I think determining that it's these 2 fatal wounds that are the primary cause of death and that it's a homicide is very important here.
Mary Jimbalek, thanks for taking the time. I know it's never easy to go through this. I know it's never easy to go through it when you're dealing with a child, but that is exactly what the situation is here. And I appreciate really coming on very quickly to break this down with me. Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can also check us out on... I want to break down a bit more the alleged motive that was laid out by authorities in the David case, because as shocking as it was for the romantic homicide singer to ultimately be arrested and charged with murder, it was also shocking that he was accused of lying in wait, killing for financial gain, and to silence a witness. And not only do I want to get into that, but we have more perspective and potentially more details with Steve Fisher, the private investigator who has been digging into this case from the very beginning, and we're going to bring him on to discuss all of these latest developments. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he did it. Like, niggas had a PI on you, bro.
We have a Law and Crime legal alert we have to tell you about. Okay, Roblox. Roblox is under fire for allegedly not taking adequate safety measures to protect children on its platform. That's right. So this popular virtual universe has millions of users who are minors, yet the players can apparently customize their avatars to hide their age and gender. And this is a feature that may also be available to predators with bad child for potential legal negligence. I will tell you, it's the motive. It is the motive David is facing. Case evaluation. So we've had a little time to analyze the charges that David is facing. And I will tell you, it's the motive. It is the motive and the timeline that was laid out by authorities that is really something to be explored here, okay? Because the other day, based on the criminal complaint, we learned that 21-year-old singer David was charged in Los Angeles with first-degree murder, continuous sexual abuse, and mutilation of human remains, all in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose decomposed and dismembered body was apparently found in the trunk of a Tesla reportedly registered to David. But it was the special circumstances allegations for the murder charge that was truly shocking. This is what can elevate the punishment to life in prison without parole or even the death penalty, even though there's a moratorium on executions out in California. But this is what took it to a whole different level. This is what raised a lot more questions about the case, about the evidence, about what we can expect at an upcoming preliminary hearing, right? That is where the prosecution is going to present evidence to the court to show that they have sufficient probable cause to move forward with this trial, to support the charges. This is different than getting back a grand jury indictment. I've talked a lot about that distinction here. But this is essentially what we're talking about is the why of the alleged killing. You're getting a sense of the motive of the alleged killing. Why would David allegedly want to murder a 14-year-old girl? And to be clear, David is innocent until proven guilty, okay? And his attorneys have said he did not commit this murder. They said he is not the cause of her death. And as we explore the motive here, the best place to start is to go back just a couple days ago when you had Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman talk about the why during that press conference.
First-degree murder with special circumstances. And again, those special circumstances are lying in wait. That Celeste went to Mr. Burke's home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, at his invitation, and again, was not heard from again. The second is a special circumstance being that this murder was committed for financial gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge, in addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste. And the investigation was into the lewd and lascivious sexual acts committed by Mr. Burke that is the subject of count 2 of this complaint with Celeste while she was under 14 years old.
So in other words, according to authorities, David was allegedly having an illegal relationship with a minor. She was a witness to illegal sex acts, and she was going to, I don't know, expose him or threaten him, and he killed her. I wonder if that's a fair interpretation. The question is, what does that mean exactly? Was she going to go to the police? Was she going to post this to social media? How do they intend to prove that? I asked Nathan Hochman about this on my show, Jesse Weber Live on News Nation, and he basically said, I'm not going to get into the details of it. That will be more revealed during a preliminary hearing. But I want to preview what we can expect here, and I want to try to understand this, because this is new information. This is a new allegation. And before I even get into that and more, I just have one more update for you. So Celeste's family, who we really haven't heard from in the last 7 months, officially released their first statement. Quote, "We would like to thank the Los Angeles Police Department and the District Attorney's Office for their hard work. We would also like to thank the people of Lake Elsinore for all their support. Celeste was a beautiful, strong girl who loved to sing and dance. Every Friday night was movie night, and we spent wonderful times together. We love her very much, and she always told us that she loved us. We miss her deeply. All we want is justice for Celeste." Now, I'm happy they released this statement for a number of reasons. One, it's always good to hear from the family.
What makes a good day great? It's fucking insane,
Sometimes. And get their perspective on this. But number two,
overly
we
crazy,
haven't heard
bro.
a lot about Celeste. You know, we talk a lot about her as the alleged victim in this case, but to understand who she was as a person and what she meant, that's something that we just didn't get a lot of information about in the last 7 months. So to provide a window into who she was, and that she's not just, victim number 1 or victim number 2, but this is a real person who had a real life, who had a family and friends and a community that loved her, I think this is very important to analyze and cover. Now I want to talk about the motive here. I want to talk about why would David allegedly want to kill Celeste. So now I want to bring in friend of the show, private investigator Steve Fisher, who has been working on this case from the very beginning. Remember, he has been investigating it because he represents the owner of the property where David had reportedly been staying, near where the Tesla was apparently found. So Steve, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. I have a lot of questions for you, but since the main thing we're focusing on right now is motive,
I'll be dumb type,
what is
bro.
your take on the
Why are
motive
you doing
here
such
about
nefarious
Celeste,
activities
was
in
a
my
witness, that she was going to
place of
expose
home?
David? Because that was new. That was a new piece of information, apparently. That was a new allegation, a new theory. Your take on it?
Yeah, I think it's accurate. There's been a few people that I've talked to that are minors, or I've talked to their parents.
Now
that
my
were in
shit a
Celeste's
crime
world,
scene
and
because you
obviously I gotta
wanted to do
protect
fucking
their
you. Do that
identity.
shit on your
However,
own property, nigga.
one thing that they had said is that the Celeste had lost respect for David. And, when I talked about that photo, when I released that photo of her January 2nd, like at the hiking trail staring off, and I said she just looked lost and, confused. We had found an SD card from in the house after they abandoned it or after they moved out of it. And it had a lot of photos. It was from David's camera. I had a lot of photos, including photos of David and of Celeste. And the last photo that we could find of Celeste alive was January 2nd. It was on a hiking trail, and Celeste, she's wearing a hoodie, a brown hoodie, which is his, and she just looked I said, she looked very lost and confused, and I was saying that because I knew a little bit more of the story behind it, and that was that, Celeste had really lost respect for David. She knew that she had been, here she was, 14 years old. She'd been lured away from school and everything, because of him. And I think she knew that she was in a really bad spot. And I don't think they were getting along great. I think that she had lost respect for him. And so
There's
this makes
nothing
sense.
in
And I
life
do
that
think
should
that
ever
he
make
was
you like a
threatened by her.
child.
So
I'm not
I was
even
trying to
gonna
get
lie
an
to
answer
you.
from Nathan Hochman the other night when I had
Age
him on
will forever
Jesse Weber
turn me
Live.
off.
And was it the idea that she was going to go to the police? Was it the idea that she was going to post something on social media? And obviously said, the details will come out during the preliminary hearing. Any of those ideas make sense to you? I mean, was she about to come forward with this? I imagine what she was going to come forward with, if you listen to what the prosecution's arguing, is that she was having, an illegal relationship with David, or if she knew something like about him having illegal sex acts with somebody else. I don't think that's what it is, but you tell me.
Yeah, so there's a couple elements to that. I think that, listen, there was claims from the beginning. There were some photos that leaked out of David in Lake Elsinore with
Nah,
this
bro, we
paper
can't
bag
even
and
be
this transaction
friends.
going on.
I
And
just
there was the
don't.
teacher at her school that talked about people were extorting David. And I do believe that was happening. And then there's further proof, I think, that that was
My
happening.
current age
And I
now, I
think
got
David
3 years
was
in me, bro. I'm not even
understanding
gonna
that
lie.
this was kind of a grip on him. And then when you lose respect to the person that it's
After a
centered
while,
around,
it's
it can
just
become a
like,
real problem. And
nah.
then, not too long ago, I kind of put out there that there
Nah,
was this
probably. I'm
report.
gonna say me
I tried to
personally,
get the investigative reports from West Hollywood Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Office, which weren't directly tied into this case, but had jurisdiction over the other rental house that David was at, where
That's
they have
Gucci
that
though.
famous
Like,
delete everything
nah.
live stream.
Like,
Well, when I requested those files, they said that they couldn't release them because there was an investigation in progress
niggas
and
do
referred
weird
me to the
shit. I'm
Riverside
not
County
gonna
Sheriff's
lie.
Department and the
Not
LAPD.
even like
So that pretty much said that
like
there was an investigation
niggas just
ongoing
do
that
like I
involved
just
Riverside
don't
County, who was
trust
the agency that had the missing persons report.
minors
So I
in
do
that
think they were
situation
looking
with
into
me.
that
Like
relationship. How aggressively,
do
I don't know. But these are all things that David was
niggas do
aware of, and
weird shit,
he
bro.
was questioning in that.
Yeah, can you
Cause
elaborate
you never
on
know
how
how
they'll be
niggas
able to
react. Like
prove
somebody could dead
that
ass
was the
like,
motive? How
cause
they'll
you
be able to
dubbed
prove
them.
that was the
Like
intent,
niggas
right?
dead
I
ass
mean, just
like,
give everybody an idea. Hochman had said there's physical
start
evidence and there's
throwing out
forensic and digital
allegations on
evidence
you,
that we
bro.
intend to
And
present
I'm
in
just
court
not
to
with
prove
the
these
shit, bro.
charges beyond a reasonable doubt.
I'd
How
rather
are they
just
going
not
to be
even
able to
be around
prove
it. I'm not
that
gonna
he
lie.
lured her to the house to kill her and lured her for the purposes of killing her because of he knew she was going to expose him or that she was a threat? How do you think they're going to prove that exactly?
Probably through a mountain of somewhat circumstantial evidence, I guess. And that listen, that is a weakness in this case, I think. When you're talking about physical evidence, at the press conference, he didn't even mention physical
but
evidence. I
niggas
don't
be
believe he talked
devious
about
over
how much
here,
digital evidence there was.
Niggas
And
be real
I
devious,
think that this younger generation, a lot of them truly don't understand things can be recovered. You delete things, they're not truly
Niggas will dead
deleted,
ass
right?
lie on you.
And there's
Let you
artifacts
go
that
to
are left
like jail
everywhere.
for the
And we've seen
crime
that in the Nancy
and
Guthrie
not
case
feel
with
no
the video
remorse for
evidence
it.
that surfaced, even though she didn't have a subscription.
Nah,
So
I
there are
just don't trust
communications,
niggas, bro.
I'm
I'm not gonna lie.
certain,
I'm
that are
Gucci.
going to be a
I'm
real
Gucci
problem
off
for
the
him. However,
coochie.
is there I just killed
I'm
Celeste
Gucci off the
and this is,
coochie,
for
man.
this reason? Probably not, but it's going to be a totality of all
Nah,
those
bro.
things.
Got lucky,
And
bro.
also Celeste's own words, probably,
For
because
sure
I
got
think
lucky.
Celeste was aware that there was people trying to financially gain off of that situation to keep things quiet. And I think when you wrap those in with what he was worried about and investigations going on and the totality of everything,
Yo,
I think it's
what?
just an
W
assumption
Luna
that,
for first time chatter,
everybody
first
will
of all.
probably come to.
Second of
Well,
all,
look, my
used
thought
to
was
do
there something in it?
what? Like you're not trolling? You're not trolling, gang? Like you really used to do that, Lunar? Cause that's actually crazy. To like have played games with this man and you didn't even see the signs, so it's just like shit. I understand why this case is how it is. Back when I played Ford, first famous person I knew, they don't do this shit. And they do this shit. Now, that's W Luna in the chat, bro. W real source leak. But that's crazy. Like, you was gaming with him and you didn't even know. You didn't even know this is the type of shit that he was on. That's how does now I have so many questions for you. Like, how does this trial feel for you? Like, I know you weren't like closely like feel me with him, but like imagine you gaming with somebody you think is a cool person to find out like they did some shit like this. Like for you, how to like damn, I feel like that's a crazy question. I don't even know you're just W Luna, bro. Like it's just so much that like hey bro. I'm glad that, you're on the other side of this and not on the other side of this. You feel me? Yeah, I bet you it don't feel real. That is like I'm like I said, I'm glad that you're in my chat right now talking about it and now I'm the other side of this case. Because what the fuck? That's to audition. It's all about stacking, getting your dollars together. Yes. Head crack? Nah, glad she say for real. Cause shit. Nah. Chase, you just like
text message.
I was a head crack, Chase.
Or a social media message.
Not gonna lie.
Allegedly from David that would confirm this
Yeah,
plan
that was a
or
head
confirm
crack.
the intentions. Again, he's innocent until proven guilty. But this goes back to another point that I raised with Hochman on my show the other night was people look at this and say it's very hard to believe that this young guy, singer,
just a young
did all
rapper
this on his
living.
own. Killed
I
her,
feel you.
dismembered her, put her in the Tesla, and had this
What's
plan.
the album called? Drop
So
the
it goes
album
back
in
to
the
this
chat.
idea, did he act alone? And Hochman basically
Whenever y'all
said,
drop,
look, the investigation's
W5
ongoing.
in
If
the
people have
chat,
more
but
information, will come forward. I still am of the
little
interpretation
7-song
they
album.
probably
That's tough.
have
That's
some
overly tough.
cooperating witnesses and are waiting to see if they will remain cooperating witnesses. And I know he mentioned
I
that
hope
when it came
that- I
to
hope
a
that got,
potential
like,
grand
yeah.
jury, there's cooperating and non-cooperating witnesses, which I thought was an interesting point to it.
Oh, the album
But I
out
guess it goes back to
already?
this question,
Oh,
motive,
bad.
right? If
But Lunar,
David is accused of killing
I'm
Celeste
so glad you
because
safe.
she was
I'm
going to
glad
expose him,
Gucci.
it does make me wonder who else
Wish you
had
the
this
best.
knowledge and
Hope
who
we meet
else
more famous
may
people
have
who aren't
been involved.
insane
Again,
and
assuming
game with
the
them
allegations are true.
and have
How long you been sitting
great
here?
connections to the network and whatever
What
you
about
like
Subway
doing,
meets
hope you
Forest?
blow up. Cause
Yeah.
that's fucking insane.
And I think your interview with the
Yeah,
DA,
some are hilarious
said
for
a lot
sure,
where
and some
he
aren't.
would
Nah,
not
yeah, that's
commit
always
that there
happened
was
to me.
not
It's
going to
music.
be other people charged in this. And I think he was also,
You're gonna have a hit and miss every time.
letting it be known to them that if that cooperation
Any form of
tapers
art, you're
off,
gonna have a hit
or
and miss.
if they're
Not
in any way
everything
not
you
being
drop is gonna
fully
be A1.
truthful, they can be charged.
It's all
I think
about
that this
learning.
case is built on 2 or 3 people's witness accounts. And listen, I'll just tell you, I think that the 2 biggest pillars in this case are going to be
Or
Neil
that anime
Lakeson
type songs,
and Rob
or like
Morgenrath is
animation.
a co-manager, whatever you want to call it, on the management team. I think that those are huge
Nah, I'm gonna tune in for sure.
people that probably
I'm
know
gonna
a
tune in
lot.
for sure.
Not saying they were involved or directly involved, but I think they know a lot. And just the timing now that they've kind of nailed down of this April 23rd to May 5th timeline, going on announcing the tour and
I'll
everything,
tune in,
even makes
tap in.
me
I
think
got you, thank you.
I'm more confident in that.
Can you talk about that? Because if we take the
I'll tune in after
prosecution's
this,
theory
right
here
after,
that he would
finish
do
this
any,
video, I'll tune in.
he killed Celeste
he's
to
only
protect his
21,
career.
y'all. That's the
Why
crazier
is
part
that
for this.
date so significant?
He's
Because you
only
posted
21
on
years
X
old.
about
He's
the
still
tour.
so young
You posted on X about the
to have,
significance
like,
of that date.
His whole life is going
So on April, their prosecutors are saying April 23rd. He lured her to his house, and she's never seen again. He then announces within hours, announces that the Wither tour is on. And night of April 24th, he's most likely flying to New York because on 25th he's at a 3-day pop-up event in New York City. So this is within hours of her being lured over there. So I think that's really important. And then all of a sudden you got this, they seem pretty certain about this May 5th date for dismemberment. And I got to believe that's from some sort of direct witness testimony. But he's back in LA because on the night, about 11 p.m. on May 5th, he does a now deleted social media post, but we've recovered it from downtown LA.
What about this Santa Barbara trip? Because the Santa Barbara trip is something that came up earlier on in the investigation that authorities were potentially looking into, this Santa Barbara trip that David had made. I think it was in the spring of 2025. So where does that fit into this? Because they didn't mention that at the presser.
So we've never, when I've been asked about this, I've been pretty clear. We don't have any evidence of the Santa Barbara trip. The first we heard about the Santa Barbara trip was when LAPD referenced it in their news release. And we do have some photos. Now, these are before the time this would have happened. We do have some photos of him in the National Forest, but still in LA County. I do notice that the charging documents say for the dismemberment on May 5th in the county of Los Angeles. David Burke did just, so now I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. You probably know better than me if that could be somewhat vague.
I know
and say in the county of Los Angeles, he was
I'm
a
actually
resident there.
to speak
But
right
it
now,
does say that happened there. I have no
this
evidence
really
of the Santa Barbara
happened.
trip. So, I don't know.
Okay, well, again, let's go to this other part because I haven't spoken to you since the complaint came out. cause of death, right? We're all waiting for the ME's report. I actually understand that I think you contacted or maybe contacted the ME's office to find out when this report is going to be released. Why is this so significant what are you going to be looking out for? Because to me, when the defense says that he's not the cause of her death, and you hear Nathan Hochman talking about, the coroner came up with their own conclusion, I think cause of death may be a big legal issue here. You're talking a dismembered body, decomposed body. I hate to talk like this, but that's the way it is. And I'm wondering and a sharp instrument potentially being used. What are you going to be looking out for cause of death? And have you gotten any word about when that report is coming out?
So I have been in contact with the ME's office. They just said that they have not, this is as of yesterday, they had not yet received the order unsealing the autopsy.
The court did that the other day, right?
I know. I was there. Listen, I was there at the arraignment. I listened to the judge say right there when Beth Silverman requested it be unsealed, she said, I'm unsealing it. So why they didn't have it immediately, I do not know. Here, if you're going to subpoena witnesses for tomorrow, I don't know how that's going to happen for the prelim tomorrow. But to get back, to the report itself and the cause, in Blair Burke, his attorney's written statement, she brought that up about it will show that he's not the cause of death. And I was there in person. She said the exact same statement in person to the judge. Didn't say anything about the manner of death. Allegedly, homicide, but says that he's not the cause of it. So it's strange. It seems like she's leaning on something. But she also said in court, Blair Burke also said that she does not have a copy of the autopsy. So I don't know if she's going solely off of David's statements to her, or relying on that. But she did say she has not seen a copy of it.
W4 in the chat.
Beth Silverman said, "I don't know how we can go forward to the preliminary when she hasn't even seen the autopsy yet." So,
do you think it's going to be delayed? Do you think this preliminary hearing is going to be delayed?
I think what's going to happen is we'll show up tomorrow for the prelim. They'll have sidebar with the judge, and I think it'll be continued. I don't think it's going to be continued a long ways, because I do think that this is also a pressure move to see what exactly, and to get that discovery as quickly as possible and get as much of it as possible. And I think Blair Burke needs to know what kind of the real story is here. I think that everybody's kind of operating in the dark except for the DA side.
Insane. Like, insane, bro.
I said, what can we do with Shiro? How can I really change the world and the understanding of women's sports?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they look, from a defense perspective, they have to be careful what they say initially. They can't make like, we know the person who did it. We're going to show you who the person who did it. That's not their burden, but they might also be just saying, like, he's not the cause of her death, because maybe they're saying we're going to bring in our own medical experts or they're saying we know he's not the cause of her death because he didn't kill her. He's not responsible. They may not be so legally focused. They might be more kind of like in general terms speaking about that. I'm not entirely sure, but I also wanted to give you the opportunity. So on X, you had posted something about David's hand, but then it clarified it a little bit. Can you just take a minute to explain that to people?
Sure. So we took screen grabs. These weren't necessarily photos that he posted, but in certain videos and whatnot, there was clearly some sort of mark on David's hand. And listen, I'm still not clear on what this is, because he definitely had some sort of temporary tattoo around the time of Coachella, which is in the time that this all happened, that he had drawn on his hand. However, in the middle of that, there's this deeper like gouge. And I put out there that, listen, this lines up with kind of the ribbing on one of the knives that I had posted that were on his camera, that one of the nights he was with Celeste in downtown LA, he was showing off this knife. I deleted it and I put out a post clarifying that, he does have that temporary tattoo, but I only deleted it because I'm not certain. I still think that could have been the temporary tattoo masking something or giving an excuse why it was there, because we have a image from I think it's May 9th. He's in Seoul, Korea, I believe, and there's still healing going on in the middle of the hand. The rest of it's gone, but there's still healing going on in the middle of the hand. So I'm not saying that it's completely wrong. I just don't have enough. I can't say for certainty, so I walked it back. I still think it could be something there. It might not be. We're trying to get more clarity on it, but it's something concerning,
I think we're all trying to get a little bit more clarity into what's happening. Steve Fisher, thanks for being on top of this, and thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can also check us out on NBC's Peacock as well. If you want to follow me, X, Instagram, my News Nation show, Jesse Weber Live, 11 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday.
Alright, we gonna react to we're gonna get into more videos on this case for sure, but we're gonna react to my boy Chase music real quick. Appreciate you, Mud, for what you call it, shouting it.
And that's why you don't mix chemicals without reading the label first. Same thing happened in my mama's kitchen last year. Don't worry, you'll be alright.
Hold on.
And that's why you don't mix chemicals.
Hold on, Chase.
What you know about same thing happened in my mama's kitchen last year. I ain't never lie. How you ever gonna learn if you don't never try? Don't worry, you'll be alright. Got me energized. I'ma let it ride. Science hit different when pressures apply. Get off that, never mind. Every lesson when I'm in charge, I'm gonna make sure
that is
tough.
How
all atoms got no charge, steam gon' rise, how the earth gon' turn. All elements know they natures, water gon' float and fire gon' burn. So stay true to yourself, stay strong. Iron is iron and earn just earns. Every reaction gives or takes an energy, nothing changed for free. Universal laws of chemistry, same laws of exchange that govern the streets. Physics turn water to clouds of ice sheets, and clouds turn to rain and the cycle repeats. Solid stay strong, liquids will leak, gases in the whip, but that's just gasoline. Gas. Many men carry wounds and nobody knows a warm heart will freeze when left in the cold. A strong mind under pressure will not fall, but even
Chase, this tough, gang.
I've been grinding for some time, and I'm slow making progress. I used to hate on my mistakes, but now I know they just part of the process. Entropy goes up in a closed system, so learn to open up before you decay. Time never wastes while you sit on your feet. Sometimes you just gotta say what you gotta say. What you put out into the world is what you should expect back. I ain't a chemical, but if you slide on my bro, you better believe I react. Gang, gang. What you know about big bangs? I seen things on bills, I ain't never lie. How you ever gonna learn if you don't never try? All this heat up in the lab got me energized. I'ma let it ride.
Whoa, that's cool.
Science hit different when pressures apply.
Turn it up.
Get off that, never mind. Every lesson where I'm in charge, I'm gonna make sure all my little homies learn. Like how all atoms got no charge, steam don't rise, or how the earth gon' turn. All elements know they natures, water gon' flow and fire gon' burn. So stay true to yourself, stay strong. Iron is iron and earn just earns. That's how I get down with my class.
That's tight. That's overly tough, gang. Now make sure to go tap into him, bro. Make sure I go tap into him. You do like educational rap. I seen from the music video that like it was like educational rap and shit. Like it was talking about like science and shit. That's tough though, I'm not gonna lie. That's overly tough. Overly tough. Not gonna lie. Alright, we're going into this last video right here. And then I'm gonna head up. The way it's looking, that's
in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. But what's come out since then changes everything. The motive, the timeline, and what happened the last night Celeste was ever seen when David invited her to his home in the Hollywood Hills, and she never came back.
Celeste, a
I just saw that
14-year-old
Fonzie
at
and
that
Rob
time,
drop.
went to Mr. Burke's house in the Hollywood Hills.
I want to watch it now.
She was never heard from again.
And months later, in September 2025, that's when everything changed.
Police say the car had been at the lot for a couple of days. When asked about reports the vehicle is registered to 20-year-old singer David.
Nah, I'm gonna watch
because
it.
inside a
I'm
car
watch
registered
it.
to the singer, investigators made a discovery.
This video's only 12 minutes. I'm
Remains
watch it.
found in the front trunk, unidentified at the time. After sitting there for months, it was eventually revealed that those remains belonged to 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a teenage girl from Riverside County, California, who had initially been reported missing back in April 2024. Celeste had disappeared out of Lake Elsinore that same month. According to authorities, her family searched put out flyers, shared her photos, asking anyone with information to come forward, hoping their daughter would be found. The family had reported Celeste missing from her hometown of Lake Elsinore, about 70 miles outside of Los Angeles. She was just a 7th grader, and Celeste had run away before, and at one point, she did return home. But after leaving again, this time, she never came back. For months, there were questions and no answers about her whereabouts. But eventually, in September 2025, they would learn the truth, that Celeste was no longer missing.
I collab with you.
She had been
It
killed,
wasn't fucked
and
up.
as her
Nah, I
family
feel
was
you.
continuing to come
W4
to
in the
terms
chat.
with that,
Nah, I
things
feel you
were
though.
only just beginning to unfold. Within 48 hours of Celeste being officially identified, investigators made their next move, executing a search warrant overnight
It's
at a
alright though.
home
You
in the
gonna get a new
Hollywood Hills
fit
area,
soon? You gonna
where
be
David,
sturdy.
D4VD, Burke, had been living. And from that point, the investigation started to unravel. But for the public, very little was known. Details were limited in this case, and questions kept coming up. Until recently, because just recently, David was arrested in connection with the case, which sent shockwaves across social media and raised even more questions. But now, after all this time, the case against David is starting to become a lot clearer. We now know that he's now facing a first-degree murder charge, and now we actually have his mugshot. Let's just take a second and really look at this.
I'm not gonna lie, based off mugshot, he looked like he did it. I'm not even gonna
We
lie,
now
chat.
also have what they say was the motive, a timeline of what allegedly happened, and the evidence they claim to have. And when you put all of it together, this case becomes a lot worse than people thought. Now, to really understand how this even got to that point, we have to go back to on or about April 23rd,
And it's like imagine being
2025,
his
when
parents,
according to
bro.
investigators, David invited Celeste to his home in the Hollywood Hills area. Celeste
Shit.
arrived, and according to investigators, this was the last time she was known to be alive. Now, up until this point, there had been speculation about the nature of his involvement with Celeste. And it's important to be clear here, we're talking about a grown man and a minor. According to investigators, that is no longer speculation. They allege that David was sexually involved with Celeste, and that this began when she was under the age of 14.
During the course of our investigation, detectives learned that she had been involved in a sexual relationship with Mr. Burke when she was a minor and he was an adult.
But it doesn't stop there, because according to the criminal complaint, investigators say Celeste had at one point been living with David, and in their words, he had recurring access to her, which meant this wasn't something distant or limited. This was direct access over a period of time. Now, when it comes to that last night Celeste was alive, this is when they say things took a much darker turn. They allege that at some point after Celeste arrived to David's home, she threatened to expose the relationship between the two, including the fact that it began when she was underage, which David of course knew could seriously damage his career. At the time, David was a rising mainstream artist, and just 2 days earlier, he had announced a Withered World Tour, a global tour set to take him across multiple countries as his career was continuing to expand, and that detail matters. According to investigators, this is where the motive comes in. See, investigators believe that once Celeste became a threat to David, after she threatened to expose their relationship, the situation escalated. And what happened next, they say, is where things went downhill.
This murder was committed for financial gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative
Alright, but that's a bet for both of y'all. W5 in the chat right now. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
They allege that after she threatened to expose him, the situation escalated into her murder. However, it didn't stop there. They allege that on or about May 5th, 2025, Celeste's remains were further altered.
New Gucci
Her
don't
remains were
mind.
later
I'm gonna
found
watch you on
inside
my
a vehicle
phone. It's
connected
like
to
y'all
David,
shit.
of course, that we know, where they had been left for months before finally being discovered at an impound lot in September 2025 in Los Angeles. And the evidence they have is what they say connects him to what happened to Celeste. Now, getting into the specifics, this criminal complaint against David also includes special circumstances. And these are very important because they make the case significantly more serious. According to the complaint, one of those is murder for financial gain. Another is the murder of a witness, with Celeste being considered that witness. And the third is what's called lying in wait, which means police believe the act was carried out in a deliberate and concealed manner. The complaint also alleges that David personally used a deadly weapon, described as a sharp instrument, in what happened to Celeste. In other words, they allege a sharp object was used in the killing of Celeste. Now that lying in wait part, that's important to understand. Because in legal terms, it's not just about
It's like
what
6 minutes
happened.
left. I'm
It's
gonna
about
watch a
how it
basketball video
allegedly
after
happened.
this, just to lighten the
Lying in
mood
wait
up a little
basically
bit.
means someone waits,
And then we up
watches,
out of here.
and then carries out a surprise attack. In other words, it suggests planning and it suggests intent. Now, if you try to picture this for a second, Celeste shows up to the home she was invited to by David, not knowing what she's actually walking into.
But if you have any
And
more
according
music you want me to
authorities,
listen to,
what happened next was
drop it in the
anything
Discord. I'll
but
listen to it like
expected. They allege this wasn't
throughout
random,
any stream.
but
If
something
you
that
randomly just want
involved
to send me some
waiting,
shit,
concealment, and a deliberate
got
act
you.
in what happened to Celeste. And legally, that
That's
makes
a
the
bet.
case much more serious. Because when or if prosecutors are able to prove something like that, it can elevate the charges and significantly increase the potential consequences. Now, to really understand how this even got to that point, we have to go back to 2023, when this situation, not relationship, situation involving David and Celeste was already developing behind the scenes. At this point, authorities say the two were already sexually involved, while Celeste was still under the age of 14, but the full extent of it is still not entirely clear. What we do know is this. According to the criminal complaint, between September 7th, 2023 and September 7th, 2024, David was reportedly involved with Celeste during that time. And this wasn't a one-time situation. Prosecutors allege that this was ongoing over an extended period of time. It's also during this time that investigators say Celeste had at one point been living under the same roof as David. Now, one thing that's still not entirely clear at the time of me recording this video is how exactly Celeste being considered a witness fits into everything we're talking about right now. Although this is included in the complaint, they haven't fully explained what they're specifically referring to, or exactly what she may have been a witness to. Now, based on what's been alleged so far and what we know so far, you can start to piece everything together yourself in your head, if you get what I mean, right? Especially considering that they've already said she was threatening to expose the relationship. So one can only assume that she was a witness in her own case. You get what I'm saying? But we don't know that yet. So as of right now, that part of the case hasn't been fully laid out publicly.
The details of the allegations that have made, particularly with that special circumstance, will be produced in court.
Now we're at a point where we know, according to the authorities, that there was an ongoing situation between the two, that Celeste at one point was living under the same roof as David, and that he had direct and recurring access to her. And on that final night, she threatened to expose that. And from there, they allege everything escalated, leading to her murder. Now, one of the biggest questions people have been asking is, why did all this take so long? Why did it take this long for the police to make an arrest? And according to the authorities, a big part of that comes down to the condition of Celeste's remains. Because of how much time had passed between her death and when she was unfortunately discovered in the manner she was discovered, it delayed the medical examiner's ability to determine a clear cause of death. And that also meant that crucial evidence had either degraded or completely disappeared over time, unfortunately. On top of that, investigators were also dealing with something else, a massive amount of false information that was spreading online. If you guys remember, when the story first broke, things were pretty chaotic. There was a lot being said, and the majority of it was actually not accurate. And even a lot of very popular media outlets ended up pushing information that wasn't fully verified at all. And because law enforcement had to sort through all of that information while trying to piece together what was done to Celeste, it made this investigation that much more difficult, and ultimately, that's what added all this time to it. Now, another key reason why this case took time is because, according to the authorities, there was no direct eyewitness who actually saw what happened to Celeste. And on top of that, they also didn't have any clear footage that directly shows David committing the act. So, what that meant was investigators had to rely on something else, a full and extremely thorough investigation. They went through digital evidence, they went through forensic evidence, and every lead they could find, while also speaking to witnesses. And according to the authorities, not everyone they spoke to was cooperative. So before bringing any charges, they wanted the highest level of confirmation possible based on everything they had collected. And that brings us to another question people have been asking. What makes them so confident that they can actually prove this case? It comes down to the totality of the evidence. They say they have a combination of physical evidence, forensic evidence, and digital evidence that they plan to present in court. In fact, they say the amount of evidence collected totals over 40 terabytes. Not gigabytes, terabytes. And based on everything they've gathered, they believe they can prove their case against David beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, at the same time, his legal team is pushing to move things forward, requesting a preliminary hearing within the next 10 days. Right now, we don't know exactly what that evidence is or what it looks like in detail. And anyone who tells you that they have that evidence is obviously lying. But that's something we're likely going to learn very soon. What we do know is that based on everything that's been laid out so far, this case is way worse than we thought. And we're only just starting to see what it looks like. Now, with all that being said, I think it's important we stay focused on what actually happened here. A child lost her life. And that's something that shouldn't get lost in all these
not worried,
very grim and dark
Let's stick to the plot.
Or all the noise around his case. Celeste had her whole life ahead of her. You know, it was taken from her. And it was all taken from her in a situation she should have never been in to begin with. And that's not something anyone can put on her. Because Celeste was a child. And children aren't capable of understanding the kind of situations they're being placed in. It's just tragic. And it's a reminder of how important it is that we protect children in this world and take situations like this seriously. Rest in peace to Celeste Rivas. And I hope justice is served for what was done to this little girl. I'm out.
I feel like this is a crazy transition.
Tinder's astrology book has cosmic insights to help you.
We're gonna get into some basketball.
Remember that trip? You snapped 9,000 photos.
Like he said, rest in peace to Celeste. Very unfortunate. Wouldn't wish what happened to her on anybody, not even my worst enemy. And we're just gonna line in the mood a little bit. That's the case in total is man crazy. And if he's convicted and he did do it, he's sick in the head. I feel like that's the only way I can say it. He's sick in the head. Glad they're at least to get the justice from the situation, although they weren't able to save Celeste. But shit. But we're gonna get into this video. Rob versus Fonby. Let's see what they do.
Tay's backwards. We got a 3-on-3
W4
going to 50
in the chat.
over
Appreciate
here.
y'all for tapping
Fonby,
in.
who's the group going out right now?
Me, Zay, Tay. Yeah, right? Oh my lord, man.
Who you got? All right. Who's the same three? Can you just name it out?
Me, Lat, Malik, DJ Yo, and Baldy.
All right. Hey, what's the record right now? 6-4. 3-on-3 going to 50. Subscribe to TNC. Leave a like on this video. Push this to 20,000 likes. Also, go to shopthenextchapter.com. We got all this new merchandise. Go ahead and rock with that. Go to tncleague.com. Cop a subscription. We got some early access games happening on there. You get pay-per-views included. You get behind the scenes. You get exclusive series. And it's just a way that you can support what we got going on. If you like our content, go check it out.
Do you want this? Do you really want this? Go. Touch me again, I'ma knock your ass out. Give me that shit. All right, talk to me though. I'm a man. Talk to me. Don't mumble.
Every single game had insane energy. This has been one of the craziest seasons to date.
Y'all forgot?
You asked for this. You wanted Kim out there in the ones. You want Rob out there in the ones. You want Moon out there in the ones. You want all the guys out there in the ones, so fuck it. We're gonna give you it.
W3 in the chat, y'all. Appreciate y'all. For real.
Knock your ass out of this bitch. You pussy. Basketball. Good shit. You pussy.
I thought this shit wanted to glitch.
Welcome back to the episode of The Next Chapter. Today we have a
yeah,
3v3 with the obvious people you see on the floor.
We
Some juggernauts. Hit the like button, back to the S's, hashtag it in the comment section.
Oh, Light, you foul. Come on, Light, get it together. Start it off, Rob. Do that shit for that boy.
All right, so Tay back out there.
Yeah, good. Great sign. Great sign. This is the original 3 that they started with yesterday before Tay got hurt, correct?
Yes.
Malik Dunbar gets his first shot of the game and he misses. Tay gets the board.
That's a bet.
Pulls, short. Tay board, working.
Oh, good pass. Catch and shoot 3. Short. ISO Tay. Workhorse. He's gonna find that old board.
Just flying around.
Oh, no. But this is the thing, when you try to play through soft tissue stuff, it can get worse.
Tay should
It's his groin. I wouldn't even push.
Yeah, Tay needs to get out.
The groin is just nothing to play with. For those that don't know, Tay's been dealing with a groin injury for the season, and he's trying to play right now, but we'll see how long he can go.
On the floor!
Off black.
Nah, Tay is stupid, bro.
I like how hard we play. That's what I like, Robert. I fuck with that.
Got off a down screen. Malik Dunbar coming off a ball screen from Rob Cologne.
Can't give him too many of those.
Darn.
There's a lay.
Yep. Glad Davis gets on the board first for Team
Rob. But it's for Team Rob. You have, I believe it's Baldy and DJO on the bench here. Some good size. In theory, they shouldn't lose this 3v3.
Tough.
Like that, man. Love Malik in team settings.
Let's go, lad. Now me and you.
Got a ball screen, down screen to ball screen action. Let downhill, spin, kicking it back out. Malik pulls.
I feel like in 3v3s, when you're setting screens, you should. Oh my gosh.
Hey!
There we go. Malik Dunbar's locked
Push
in.
that.
I was gonna say, when you're setting ball
Push
screens,
that.
Takis has intense flavors, but not all are spicy. Takis chili lemon chips. Light heat, big punch of lime. Takis flavor.
you should like roll 99% of the time because there's really not a lot of help defense.
They're going to go over that ball screen on Lat, too, so Lat's going to have some opportunities driving. With Zay chasing him.
Got to give a lot of credit to Tay here trying to push through this injury in this 3v3.
Go ahead. Yup, knock down. Stay home. By yourself. Hey. Bring it out. My bad, bro.
Nah, y'all, I was dribbling yesterday, and I tell you, I turned my head and my whole hair did this to me, bro. So I could not see the ball, and I lost it. I was so tight. Then I'm trying to find my hair tie, can't find it. Get past.
Oh, I love that.
And one. Nah.
You're trying to ice it.
Simple basketball,
ball screen
bro.
at the top of the key. You ice it on the sideline.
Yeah, that's the only place you can.
Simple
really.
Like
basketball.
you can't really
Super tough.
Set it flat. I'm gonna just run
you
down
flat
here.
screen and snake it. It's a light.
Get
Oh my
past
God.
another one. Hey! Oh!
But I think, again, just to go back to how they're going to guard this, Zay's going over. As So said, Malik should roll. They're playing a 2-on-1 with Zay chasing. How does Zay get back into the play? It's just going to be tough to guard, especially with the size advantage that Team Rob has.
Well, if you're that high, rule of thumb is, I mean, unless you're guarding freaking Steph Curry, you got to go under the initial, because it's high. Kind of got to live with the late contest, but then you go over the second. But if you're going over off the rip from he's 45, 40 feet away, you're putting your guy who's the tag guy, you're putting or you're putting the guy guarding the screener, put him in a tough spot.
In a fast break 2-on-1s, basically.
He's backpedaling the whole time, you know? Unless Tay just high hedges it, but then they slip. And now you have to extremely help with a lack thereof of two other people on the court.
And if you go under, we know Lack can shoot it. So this is
right.
Leak misses both.
Zay's open for triple. Still can't get one to go.
Might need a sub here if I'm Team Moon.
I knew he was gonna miss.
They got the switch. Malik's in the post.
It's Malik.
Zay.
He not really crypto capable.
You should spread out and go here.
He more of a layup package.
You heard?
You feel me? He more of a layup package.
Because I don't want them to keep going to that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want them to abuse it.
We got this guard the screen better try to keep you off of him. The only thing the problem is when you switch on him, it's lack. So he can't go double because you elite lack.
You can't die on them screens.
It's going full, lad.
Ones, yo.
You just need one. It's going full.
You and him. You and him. You and him. You and him, lad. You and him.
Chop. Same. That's you. ISO world. Rob. Oh my God. Oh shit.
Dunk that bitch. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Game changer. As soon as you get in there, game changer. There we go. Bomb B, fuck Baldy up, man. Fuck out of here. Right at his dumb ass. Tracy, Trey Wop, Tracy,
Foul.
Tracy.
Nigga saw Baldy and got hungry. Rob missing. I'm not gonna lie, Rob hasn't even got the ball that much. It's been light and Malik scoring like with the ball majority of the time. Hey!
What you think this is, boy? Kill that nigga, man.
Damn. One of them coming
What
out.
What do you think this is? That's Farmy, nigga.
One
Boy,
of
what the
his
fuck you
barrels
think you doing?
coming
Jumping
out.
out there on Farmy like that.
That's unfortunate.
Fuck.
That's real unfortunate.
I'm 60. Fabi makes both. We got seven.
You thought you was gonna hit that shot and start talking to me? Nope.
Malik switches on to Fambi. Fambi pulls.
Shadell. No, thank you. Go to the Baja.
Oh, good wall.
Hey, come on, Shadell, grab the ball. Nah, Baldy be frying me.
Oh, Foul Bomb Television is having a phenomenal season here in Chapter 2, Season 4. Say something? Yeah.
He said it's me. Thing is, though, this is a great three right here.
Oh, I thought he was about to. 2 for $1.
Let's face it, most of us aren't gonna
He
set
should have
foot
gave
on
him 2
Mars.
for $1.
It's freezing. I'm gonna go back to
$1
the
for
module.
2.
Some things are
What'd he do?
Stepped out.
No, he didn't.
He stepped out, man.
No, he didn't.
This whole team of power forward shit ain't gonna work.
Bullshit, Scoop.
You can score on him too.
No,
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't. Give me that damn ball. Give me that ball.
The
Give me
defense
that
there
ball.
from Latin Davis isolated.
What wrong with him? Don't worry about it, lad. I'm gonna tell him. He gonna learn. That growing ain't hurt.
Look at that shit, bro. That shit.
Oh, they battling.
Oh.
I think Tay hit him.
No, that's his teammate. No.
His own teammate.
No. Do not get for that, man.
That's crazy.
Collision course.
I can't change his call. What you gotta talk about? Talk about what? We'll talk about it later. No, I can tell him he fucked up later.
No, you supposed to talk about it. You supposed to come on right now. I promise you.
No, but he made a foul call. He said the foul was on Baldy.
That's
I
horrible
I
call.
feel like you hit him a little bit.
That's
You
bad
don't feel like
roughing.
Baldy hit him a little bit too?
That's bad roughing.
Like they both like his teammate hit him and Baldy hit him.
Finally going to the foul line. 2 shots. He's been wilding out this whole season. He's been wilding out this 3v3. Now he has a chance to help Team Moon capture their first lead in this 3v3.
Rob, don't sit too long. Not too long.
They picking on you, Baldy.
No, they ain't. That shit broke. Yes, you are. Teach him a lesson.
No, nothing.
No, this is a bucket. This is a bucket.
Cause that's your homeboy.
Man, that's a bucket, nigga.
Fuck out of here.
Ain't
no motherfucking bucket.
You don't want to go out there with him.
Huh? Yeah, he a power forward. Thank you. Thank you. Go at his ass, man.
He's lucky
Hey,
if he picked the ball.
Terry Hose is here, right?
Not gonna lie.
And the Baltimore accent in
so
person is like
It's
one
awesome.
of none.
I was thinking the same thing.
He's deaf, Ermin and German for sure.
Like said Ermin German.
Absolute.
This is
Ermin
Fondy's
German.
7th foul shot in this game.
Really?
Yeah, he's been to the line 3 times. I think this is his 4th.
Got a screen from Tate, slipped it. Oh, yes. Dev carried the basketball right there.
I think you tried to pick it up. Might have been a double.
Oh
my God.
Oh, he got a blocking foul. That was a fullback handoff.
That was Ray Lewis versus Mike Allstott in the A gap.
Oh, Brian Urlacher too.
I'm not jacking this, ref. I'm not jacking this, ref.
What y'all think?
I'm not jacking this, ref.
Actually, why?
I'm not jacking this, ref.
He ran him over and didn't go up yet. He ran him over. I called him on the floor when he lowered his shoulder, not when he went up. I called him.
These refs are fucking horrible. Nah, Fama just gotta get his weight up.
What the fuck?
Oh, he made the shot?
Fama just gotta get his weight up.
He called it when he ran him over.
He might have called it on the dribble though, maybe. I guess.
But if you don't put the ball back down,
But I'm saying if he called in the head, boom,
and then you go
then
up.
that's different.
That's continuation.
Because he playing off a 2. So if he go ahead like boom and then he's still going, you know what I'm saying?
And what?
Wow, Lay. I'm saying, listen, he called that on the bump, but on the dribble, and then but he playing off a 2. But he playing off a 2. It's go boom, and then
Sometimes
he hit, and then went up. That's why
comes around and then knocks you
That's what I'm saying. I
down.
feel like it stopped right there.
It can't get back
It's all
up
good.
and it knocks
gonna
you
miss that shit anyway.
down. Hey, bro.
I watched the collision happen and go through, and the ref go this. Blocking and one.
nothing. It's going up.
April 25th is almost here, and tickets are on sale now.
Feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate.
God damn me to be on the treadmill, nigga. Raise my fucking speed, nigga. Don't touch my shit.
Keeping him dry. Only Pampers.
That should be a good game
Free
too.
Smoke brings statements
Bug
to you
versus
this
Terry.
Saturday, April 25th.
That's a good
Tickets for
thing.
the stream are $20, but TNC League members receive 50% off at checkout. Tickets on sale now.
Y'all even got the point guard playing like a power forward, yo. This shit crazy.
Hey, Black Squad, we gotta keep our mental. Whatever they call, they've been already called it already. Oh, wait.
You got him beat there. That's all you had to do. You grabbed him and shit. You feel me? That's all that was.
That's my man. Keep it lighter. Focus up there. You good. Make a side, Baldy. Better wake up. Yep.
He can't move, buddy.
Yeah, he missed the first one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn.
Thanos.
Oh,
I mean, not
shit.
Yes, Baldy.
One more. Knock it down, DJ.
Teach his ass a lesson.
Come on.
Darius.
Oh. That's not supposed to. Oh, yes. White.
What?
These refs are horrible.
One more. Yeah, Tay. Hey, you see the difference when you out there? When you out there and that shit like that happen, that's why we need you.
Tough on me. Ah.
No, boy, no. Fuck no, Baldy.
Who you feeling like? Who you feeling like? That be your hey. Who you feeling like?
Watch the screen. Here we go. One.
Oh, Fambi wants DJO in isolation. Pull.
Chop.
You like
okay, Rob back in.
That's cash.
Oh,
that's a shot right there. That's a good shot.
The dog.
That's a good shot.
C4 has a slight mismatch in the post. Oh, no, he doesn't. Never mind.
Back door. Never mind. Myself,
Hey, listen.
All right. See you guys.
You know, but he's hit some stuff like this in the past. He hit a 180 hook shot from about 15 feet on the left-hand side in Warzone a couple years ago.
Weak ass throw.
Nah.
And one. Yeah.
He 5'9",
That's right.
nigga, shut up.
Go on the low ass power forward.
He 5'9",
That's
you
the small
supposed to do
power
that.
forward.
Do it now.
Cha.
Yeah.
Oh, great save.
Oh, he was out. Scoot.
Tough.
Fambi scooting
And this
on
is
by
how I
Rob
know
Cologne right there.
this Rob versus
Got a
Fambi game is
5-point
gonna be a
ball
great
Hit the like
game.
button, hashtag back to the essence.
Fambi, thoughts?
Let me say.
Oh my God, Tay. Nah, Creek Gavion Johnson is
Like I said,
crazy.
immediate
Game.
sub.
You subbing out? Or are you going to be a warrior and fight through that groin?
Hey, yo.
If I get back cut, I'm an honorable man. I got to sub out for a possession or two.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying all that. I'm talking about getting back cut.
Right.
Give me one. That's not my free throw.
Nah, get your ones. Get your ones. Get your ones!
Scratches. Uh-oh.
I gotta step up.
Normally they come in a flurry. Let's see if he shoots again here.
Oh, rocker step, blow by hard right.
Good
pass out. Come on, Baldy. Oh
wow.
My God. Good pass. Come on, Baldy. I'll take it. Have you give me that? I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
All right, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
So Tay's frustrated because Malik Dunbar just flew over him on an O board, and then Tay felt like it was all ball on the next call.
When you list on
Nigga put
apartments.com,
a bottle to the
renters
top.
will start
Yeah,
coming out
ain't
from the
me
woodwork.
wood. Yeah. Do that do greatest. Do that do greatest to me.
And feeling blue is one thing.
Yeah, Baldy.
Word of my day, right? Baldy makes both.
Well, Team Rob is down. I don't like it.
What, they think he can fuck with you or something? They think he can fuck with you?
Oh, short. He short-armed it, man.
How we both stay at the exact same length?
Because it's like...
No.
Shut up. Baldy said, I'm going to help you out.
Baldy, come. Hey, me and you reach. Take a shot, man.
How that shit go? They down,
Oh,
but not for
good.
long.
Hey.
But not for long. Head crack.
27-22 ball game.
Head crack.
Team Rob is leading.
Head crack.
Starting to become on a heater. See you in the second half.
We on our time.
Why they on time about? I'm gonna be back, y'all. He playing now. Nah, they done woke that demon up. You know Rob don't like to lose, bro.
You said that, bitch?
You know Rob don't like losing.
Delay, go back. And I'm gonna put it, but when I throw it, I'm gonna throw it to where you have to jump in the air and just lay it. You're not coming down with it, because they're gonna be sprinting for help. And if they gonna go to y'all, I'm gonna knock that bitch down. Let's go.
We're not playing together at all.
You're right, that's on me.
Being aggressive
I
to
blame me.
Make it simple. Run a pick on, make a nigga run. Go multiple actions. Multiple actions.
Yeah.
Pick and slip.
So it's easy for them boys to rebound like that off y'all miss shots too, because they all in the same spot just watching.
Niggas are scared.
Yeah, brother.
Just roll. I'm sorry. No, slip. Hey, C4, I'm about to dribble to you and backdoor. I'll let you work.
Hey, the thing is, they switching everything, just slip them, bitch. Like you said, backdoor. Backdoor and slip them. I do it that way. They switching everything.
Folks, good evening. Good evening. Good evening, folks. Good evening, folks. In 5, somebody give me a countdown.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey folks, it's me, Baldy. I want to let you in a little secret. Yes, a secret. If you download Prize Picks and put a $5 entry in, you can earn $50 for other entries. Use code TNC if you want a real chance of winning some breach. What is breach? It's shmoney. We're not like any other platforms. We actually give you a chance to win. These other platforms just give you highway robbery. These are not pantyhose. They might smell like them, but they're not. Use code TNC. Okay? This is fun. I like this type of stuff. This is fun. This is it right here, guys. You know what I'm saying?
We go second half of the way, Rob Cologne, fresh off a heater. Let's see if he can continue.
Rob with the steal. Pass to Malik. Pump
Jumpy
fake.
man.
Bucket.
Jumpy man.
They're running away with it.
A run will be made.
Yeah, Tay. He can't move, Rob.
Oh, isolated as Rob Cologne
He
with
can't
Isotail
move.
on him. Driving hard right, bumping.
Oh,
slow
and
step,
one.
and one.
And one. He can't move. You got to go at him right now. He hurting right now. You got to.
Here we go.
Just keep going
got
to it.
Sit.
If someone digs down, kick out. Let him rock out. 9-point lead.
Uh-oh, he might take over this game and send it to the morgue.
Oh, yeah, Rob. Steady one. He don't want to move. Oh, hey, hands.
Nigga running out of bounds, man. For real, man, that fucking cologne stink.
Go through me like you do yours. From the bitch that's always hurt.
Box out. Hey, box out. Mom is loud.
Why he said, I already know he said that's a pat, and I can't even see. I already know he said that's a pat. Yo, I know he said that's a pat. Nah, I gotta go back. We gotta rewatch this part. My fault, y'all. How do you mean a little snacky snack?
I take over this game.
Digs down.
Takis chili lemon chips, light heat.
I
big
know
bunch
he
of
said
lime.
that comment to Pat. I just know he did. I don't even need to ask.
Before you throw another controller,
Because
maybe
nobody
break up
else
with
be
your
hurt
lag instead.
every game
Switch to
but
Optimum
Pat,
Fiber,
bro.
the best internet for gaming with the lowest latency in the New York tri-state. Take your gaming to the next level.
With it. A run will be made.
Yeah, Tay. He can't move, Rob.
Oh, isolated as Rob Cologne
He
with
can't
Isotail
move.
on him. Driving hard right, bumping.
Oh,
slow
and
step,
one.
and one.
And one. He can't move. You got to go at him right now. He hurting right now. You got to.
Here we go.
Just keep going
got
to it.
Sit.
If someone digs down, kick out. Let him rock out. 9-point lead.
And Boldy playing good. And come on.
Uh-oh, he might take over this game and send it to the morgue.
Oh, yeah, Rob. Steady one. He don't want to move. Oh, hey, hands.
Nigga running out of bounds, man. For real, man, that fucking cologne stink.
Don't do me like you do yours. He shot all three, though. From the bitch that's always hurt.
I just knew he said to Rob. I mean a Pat.
Hey, box out.
I just knew he said that to Pat. Nobody else could have said that to.
Why the fuck I'm missing free throws? I'm like 80% free throw shooting.
Nigga dropping stats. Yeah, he's on Demon Time today. Nigga's dropping his stats mid-game. He's on timing. Y'all gonna activate that man for the wrong reasons.
Man, C4 for 3. He
Somebody
misses.
do it.
Rob going right back at him. Right back at him. Right back at him. Right back at him.
They are running away with
big
this
as
one.
fuck. Oh yeah, Tay don't want to move. Tay don't want to move. Tay can't move. Tay can't move. Shut the fuck up, nigga. No, nigga. Now what? All right.
Oh. Right idea.
You don't think he has to slide down with him as he drives, though?
Oh, he does. He does.
Yeah,
It's the right idea. Absolutely. He's on the same page.
Who's that? Lee.
Bro, you wildin'.
That might be the worst shot I've seen taken all season.
Well, also, too, I want to say, when you're driving away, technically, a fill-up's supposed to happen. If I'm driving the same side, you kind of go down. But
I think Baldy just wanted to get a shot up there.
yeah.
Hezzy, Fonby, pump fake. There it is.
That's what you need to do. That's what you've been talking about for the entirety of this day.
Absolutely. Because he's going to try to go get that every time.
Shaky, bro. Shaky.
There we go, man. A run will be there. The run is always
Shaky.
made by the opposite team that's down. We already know this.
Shot that shit like.
Almost like
Damn, nigga.
Street ball Bible.
I shot that shit like bam.
Street ball Bible. That a runner's gonna be made.
Yeah.
Nah, he would have. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
For sure.
How he went up, that nigga was gonna punch his shit. He
You know what's a
got
real
over the
thing in
rim.
games?
He was gonna punch his shit.
Like if you're playing Madden and you go up like
He
14 or
floated for his
21,
own
the
enjoyment.
sliders will adjust.
Because he realized he didn't go
Yeah,
up.
they want to keep new players. They want to give them some hope and a reason to come back and play.
I just learned something today. I'm dead serious. That's crazy.
Maybe that's why I'm butt.
It's a conspiracy, but I believe it wholeheartedly.
Trey ball.
C4 rebound.
Why did you not
Drops
get
it
the
off
rebound,
to
lad?
Fonby.
Oh, yeah, Rob about to tweak out. He's getting activated. The worst thing to do is to chop at a nigga that can actually do it. Because you doing all this chopping, not tween cross, it's over with. You're hitting the floor.
C4 can't guard. C4 can't guard. C4 can't guard.
These are flying now.
C4 can't guard.
Oh,
shit.
stupid. You thought I was... Oh, I thought this nigga Rob did it. Damn, Baldy. You got it, hold on.
Midi.
Yes, Baldy. That's great
C4.
defense.
Kicks. ISO Tay wide open, gotta bang it.
Oh, for the
Oh my God!
With the glass.
Oh my
tap.
God! Oh my
I know
God!
Fambi's missed a lot this game, and he's taken some questionable ones, but he's been a spark plug of energy.
Agreed.
He's kind of keeping them together.
But I ain't gonna lie to you, it looks like they're saying, like as a team, like the
Good
vibe
D
is like
live.
get about to find better work.
Yeah.
Good D
Oh,
live.
that's great pass. That.
Hey, Lat, come on
Don't
now.
do it.
I need to see
Don't
that
do
shit I
it.
see on you
Don't
on
do it.
Instagram. Hey, I need to see that shit.
This is how I kept saying because
Yeah, I'm missing that bullshit.
While Bam not in, bro, you can actually get one of our smaller guards in the game. Yeah. It's harder for them to pull you trying to post up. You know what I'm saying? So at nine, them niggas just gotta win it. And it's cool because he can shoot real well. He can shoot real well. If he ain't hitting Harry, you gonna check back in with him. And then you can get your break until Bam get back in the game.
Hey, try this. Look. Try this one time. If you check it up, you come set him a down screen right here. Let him come off of that, and then you space out. Y'all play out of that shit.
All right. Look, y'all two are the most explosive. One of y'all do a ghost screen.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then as soon as the nigga ghost screen for him or
Either one of y'all, but one of y'all said it.
one of y'all go past the nigga, go drive. Everybody else on the opposite side. It's all right, bro.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Y'all forgot?
That bump from life? Nigga sent from the journeys, nigga. Nah, let me relax. Let me calm down. Let me settle down. Basketball just doesn't think.
Dreaming and growing
All
is hard
night
work.
long, all night.
Oh, he was out. That was perfect. That was perfect, bro.
Damn, that was a great action.
He got it.
Oh, he got
Yeah,
it
he
to go.
got it.
Needed that one.
This guy
Just take your
Too
time
close
on
to the
him, bro.
basket to miss that one.
You just scoring that nigga every time, bro.
He's been a catalyst for his Team Moon squad the whole season.
Get out of there, Aki. Get out of there. Get out of there. No.
You still have to give him a chance to save that basketball. You can't just catch it.
Let it bounce. It's a natural instinct, though.
Fambi mid post. Kick.
Fine, gotta have it. Tay has to be able to make that shot for them to be able to not dig so deep. They're helping so much off Tay because they know he's not a threat right now.
Be ready. Be ready. Be ready. He gonna knock it down, Rob. He gonna knock it down, Rob.
That's all 3-on-3 is.
Shiner!
Mismatches. If you can get advantageous mismatch in the post, you can kick out to a shooter, or you can just get a layup.
I'm gonna say this. That shit chicken and Baldy wide open.
Oh, for sure.
Chicken. Oh.
Cologne special. Cologne special.
That was a timely sub in that moment. Wow. Now they're.
Oh, another one.
Oh my God. Wow.
They're not
Hey.
communicating out there.
Hey.
Team Wyatt took the full momentum.
There it is.
Oh, the first one.
bit of bad coaching this game, y'all. Fucked up some subs. My bad.
Fami goes to the line for 3 free throws, I believe, after Ladden Davis fouled him on a three-point attempt, and he makes the first one. Now with this lineup, fellas, for Team Moon, especially with potentially a 12-point deficit after this free throw, it's hard to close these games, right? It's hard to close these games, and this is a tough lineup to close against.
Finally got on Capri.
Fomby shooting his third. Needs it. Retains possession. Down 12. One run away from making it interesting. But they got to show something consistent offensively. They've kind of scored
two
randomly.
You can do that,
He's been aggressive this whole time, and his engine hasn't stopped defensively or offensively. When he came to this table, he said, "I'm in shape."
Yeah,
he's in shape.
Shooting 2 more.
He getting the BAM treatment. The BAM out here. Y'all hacking him, bro. It's Baldy. Baldy fouling him, bro.
Why you ain't doing nothing? Why you ain't doing nothing? C4, thought you blow shit up. I thought you blow shit up.
That's us. Off white. White.
It's a jump ball. If you don't know, you gotta just toss it up.
You can't reward him because of missed foul. That's not how that works. You gotta call it.
He's older than me.
Snuck it through there.
So tough.
Snuck it.
So tough. So tough.
Stand right here. Stand right here.
That's all right. Fuck it. Send C4 the fuck home. Blow that nigga up. Since he blow shit up, blow him up.
Don't do that to Rob.
Stop fucking reaching.
Don't do that to Rob. He gonna show you why not to reach.
Get your head shot off. Let's go home.
I told you he gonna show you why not to reach, nigga.
Tough. Very tough. Team Rob takes a 50-35 win in the 3v3. Our next game
Boom
is
it
going to be another 1v1. Make sure you guys lock in with us, man. ABC, any thoughts before we get up out of here?
Nope. Great game. Both sides.
See you on next episode. We out.
That's the end of that episode 50-35.
I don't want to hear these niggas talk. They gonna lose in silence. When are they dropping that Rob and Fomby game? I just want to know. Have me on. Hey, I just want to know. So I know. They're probably not dropping that no time soon. Definitely not dropping that no time soon. But y'all fuck with the new transition. You feel me? Yeah. Today was a vibe. W4 in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. Today was a vibe. We got into the David case. We got into a little bit of a Rob versus Fomby game. I'm on better vibes. Considering what the stream started off as, it was very much a start off of like a sad situation. Right up the vibes a little bit. I'm on vibes right now. But like always, make sure y'all go tap into tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. We have our daily collab with my boy Jay. So make sure y'all go tap in with him as well. And yeah, we're gonna get to our motivational and our prayer, then we're gonna head up out of here, y'all. Today's motivational is the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. What that basically means to me is like your knowledge is only as vast when you embrace the ability to adapt and change as a human. In order for you to learn, you have to accept differences and accept change. If you never want to change, you can never learn, you can never grow, you can never be better. Lack of intelligence is from lack of growth. Remember that. Don't let that go over your head top. That's a double entendre. You feel me? But today is a prayer for a thriving Thursday. So let's get into it. Thank you for waking me. Ooh. Let me lock in. Skip the whole 2 words. Let me lock in. Heavenly Father, thank you for waking me up to see another day. Thank you for the gift of life, for breath in my body, and the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to thrive. Today I ask that your divine protection over my life cover me in your presence wherever I go. Guard my mind from negative thoughts, my heart from heaviness, and my spirit from anything that is not of you. Protect my peace, protect my energy, and everything I am building. Lord, align me with your will, order my steps, place me exactly where I need to be, remove anything or anyone that is causing confusion, delay, or misdirection, replace it with clarity, purpose, and divine connections that are meant for me. Fill my heart with true happiness, not just temporary joy, but a deep, unshakable peace that comes from you. Let me find gratitude in the small moments and confidence in the path that you have set before me. Teach me to trust you fully, even when I don't understand what you're doing. Strengthen my faith when doubt tries to creep in. Remind me that what is meant for me will never miss me, and that your timing is always perfect. Surround me with love, Lord. Your love first, the love of those who genuinely care for me. Help me to give love freely, to receive it openly, and recognize it in its purest form. As I move through this Thursday, let me walk with confidence, purpose, and grace. Let everything I do bring me closer to life, the life that you have planned for me. In Jesus' name, amen. Appreciate everybody that tapped in and tuned in with me today. On the road to affiliate, on the road to 75. We on the road to everything. But like I always say, it's your girl KCD12, aka Kara Dawn 12, aka Kara the Dawn. I don't care which way y'all forming, as long as you use Kara the Dawn and 12 in one of those ways. I'm rocking with it, whatever which way. I jack all 3 of them. But appreciate y'all for tapping in and tuning in with me today. I'll be back tomorrow. On that note, we gonna say this like this. We what, y'all? And we up out of here. You feel me? You dig? You dig? You feel me? Cause I'm always spreading what? Peace, positivity, and love y'all way. It's your girl KCD12, aka Kara Dawn 12, and I'm up out of here, y'all. Safety.